Howdy, howdy, folks. Welcome to Babble with Bronies. I am your host. As always, my name is Everlasting Joy, and joining me today to finish up the comics, the Unicorn Twilight comics, I should say, the one and only MrBen,
Yo.
and Twilight is Magic.
BO, that's right.
Don't have a truckload of content this week, or at least there was a lot of art this week. There's not a truckload of news, and I don't have any videos, but I do have a lot of art and a lot of comics at that. So I hope if you like our goofy comic reading, then this one's right up your alley, like always. But let's get started. The Friendship Games, the new Equestria Girls movies coming out next weekend, a week from yesterday. But they've already released the songs for it. No, I haven't purchased them yet because I don't want to be spoilers.
Yeah, they're already uploaded to YouTube, but I don't want to listen to them yet because, well, the movie's so close.
Exactly. That's just it. It's like, really, you want me to... I don't mind buying them because, support the show and all, but...
and good quality, too.
Yeah, and that too. But the point I'm getting at here is more akin to the notion of I don't want to have things spoiled for me. I do the very same thing with all the other songs. I did this with the Smile song when that was released, God knows when, how long ago. And it was like long before the show or before that episode aired. And I still am thanking myself to this day for not listening to it until it aired.
Yeah, it's like Matt points out. It's 3 of them are from songs from the shorts. Like I mentioned last time, the shorts actually count as part of the pre-Friendship Games shorts, the ones we got in March.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, quote, for those of you who love the music from the first 2 EQG movies, blah, 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 blah. If you're dying for some Pony Tunes, check the link out below for the iTunes. They also have the Amazon page. I don't know if Google has them or not. So, I don't know, but...
I don't know about either.
I thought I sent you the link. I'm sorry there. But I guess it's not... This one isn't terribly important. Anyway, the point is you can for sure get them on Amazon and you can for sure get them on iTunes. Go nuts. Alright, moving on. How about this one? I thought I'd share this one. How about this one? This one I'm just kind of sharing because I thought it was, why not? BwB got an overhaul for all you Gmod SFM modelers out there. So if you're into this, well, yeah, you have a new BwB model. I'm not sure, they don't mention anything about improvements or anything. They just provide a link to the download. But what I can say is, if you ever wanted to use her for this, there you go.
Well, she runs out the CMC.
True.
So far.
Looking really good, anyway.
Well, she's on par with the others now, which is good.
I wonder if it was just like a model re-rigging that, to make less, I don't know.
In parts.
How do I want to put this? Like a smaller file or maybe like a bigger file but having more possibilities, more joints basically.
Yeah, the ledger, I think that's it.
I wouldn't be shocked. And that's great. That's fine.
I don't see her cutie mark on there, but then again, it's probably it may be in with the pack like later as like a separate model or something like that. so I wouldn't know.
Who knows? I wouldn't be. You guys, both you guys in the chat are mentioning that, and I'm curious if I wouldn't be shocked if some of it falls under. And I'm sorry to whoever built it because if I insult you, I'm not trying to, but I'll say it anyway. I wouldn't be shocked if they took the model and either one of two scenarios happened. This was before. Um, what's the name of the episode? The one that with Apple Bloom and Luna.
Oh, I don't even remember what that one was. That was season.
That was this season.
That's season 5. Okay. Um, I could probably get that to you here in a minute.
Never mind. The point I'm getting at here is this was probably started before that, as in the re-rigging was started beforehand and then made, and then of course completed before. Bloom and Gloom. Thank you, J.D.
Yeah.
Smith. It was completed after
Danke.
it. Obviously, it was obviously completed after it, but the person figured, the overhaul is done by a guy named Iridicor. Yeah, I'll go with that. Anyway, I'm guessing it was started before and finished afterwards, and didn't bother to do that to add the mark. Or Iridicor's thought, why don't I'm just going to keep her a blank flank. There we go. End of story.
It wouldn't surprise me if they left the model as blank. I mean, it probably could be a simple fix, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if you know someone may have made 2 models. One with the cutie mark, one without. I don't know how easy it would be to add a cutie mark into an existing model, or probably just make a separate one altogether with.
Well, if it has a source file, then it would be trivial.
Well, it's still a matter of you have to, put it in there. You still have to make it and all that jazz.
Yeah, because I don't want to sound ignorant, but I know nothing of Gmod or SFM.
That's just it. Is I don't either. In Flash, it's easy. It's not very hard to do, unless the cutie mark is complicated or something. But for something simple, it's you draw the vector, you paste it in somewhere. That's pretty much it. But I don't know anything about Gmod or SFM, so it could be a lot harder than that.
Yeah, I've only used Gmod once, and that was actually for playing a game, and I never actually animated anything with it, so I'm like, yeah.
It's tricky, but it's not too tricky, so...
All those silly faces.
It's not worse than Flash.
All right, why don't we move on?
Yep.
Probably spent a lot more time than I wanted with this, but that's what the silly banter's all about. Probably should have ordered this a little bit sooner, but this is... They've released an Equestria Girls box set. So for
Boxes.
all you... Blocks. But for all of you who either don't have all of the movies, including the upcoming Friendship games, and you're thinking, you know what, I would like to have them all. Here you go. Save yourself a lot of the trouble. Trust me, I'm guessing you're going to get a better deal on it in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
I would say because it's got bonus features and deleted scenes from Friendship games. So, hey, and audio commentaries. I don't know if any of the others actually have anything of that nature.
Well, I think the Rainbow Rocks one does.
It does. Rainbow Rocks had a commentary and...
Which we watched.
I don't think
Well,
it has...
good.
I don't think it has any deleted scenes, though.
Yeah.
Well, either way.
So yeah, if you want it, go get it, folks. All right, one last thing before we get to the OT. Oop, that's fine. 2 things. Make that 2 things. First of all, main series number 34 has been released. Hard to believe that we're that. I don't know what to say to that in the sense of there are 34 comics that have been released on the main series alone. And that's, of course, not including the micro comics or the Friends Forever series. So, yeah, they've got
You've
quite a lot
come
of,
such a long, long way.
pretty much.
But yeah, it's been a long ride. I'll be honest, I didn't really catch up with the comics lately, but
I
it doesn't
haven't
mean I like them
either.
any less.
I'm actually just waiting for like another humble bundle to maybe get like another set before anything else, but I don't know if they're going to be doing that at any time in the future.
I've caught up with them up to a certain point. I've, yeah, that's just it. That's almost 100 issues either pretty soon or already. That's kind of my point, Matt the Shadow Man, is
Yep.
we've got quite a lot of comics out there right now.
That's pretty good for a comic, for a
Yeah,
Palmy comic particularly.
exactly. But one thing that I want to mention here is, where was I? Oh, I was going to comment on that. Yeah, I haven't caught up completely. I still haven't gotten many of the new ones. I like to wait for the sales myself. Call me a cheapskate on this one. I don't care. But if I can get all the comics I was going to buy for all of them half off, I'd be pretty stupid not to do that, right?
That was the reason why I jumped on the humble bundle when it was originally available.
Yep. I think I still have some of those. They're stashed away because they were so freaking cheap.
So with that, let's move on. One last thing. It's been a long time, and goodbye my free time. But Footsie01 has released Canterlot Siege number 4. I don't know
Ooh.
why. I did call number 3.
But see, I thought we showed number 3 on here.
Yeah, we did. It was the villains one, kind of like a
Yep.
reverse. He did a poops and giggles in reversing the roles. But anyway, Canterlot Siege number 4. This one involves the Power Ponies, and well, if you're like me, you enjoyed Siege number 2 and 3, although I never played 3 very much, just because I always forgot about it. But damn it all, it's just as addicting and it's just as fun. Seriously, play this game, folks.
There was a time when I played those flash games of this sort lots, just for days on end, and I think I could do this with this game, at least with this series. It kind of reminds me of that back when those games were big.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of preserved it, which is good.
They're so darn addicting. It's like you think, okay, I got to wave 10. I can do better next time because now I know what I need to build. So you build it. All right, I got to wave 15. I know what I need to do better. Build it, 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 build it. And then you're like, ha! Wait, why is it 2 in the morning?
Yep.
So yes, Canterlot Siege 4, the You Kept Asking edition. I just noticed that. You clever man. No, I don't think I'll play it. I might be spending the rest of this one actually doing that. So for argument's sake, let's move on.
You could stream it later.
That too. That too. Maybe I'll do that one day. All right. So let's dive into, just double checking. Yeah, let's dive into the art. Okay, good. He is there. I got a lot of the people I want here. Here. But I'm going to get him on the line first. Could not have timed that any better. Tim.
Yellow.
Yellow. Hey, Tox.
Hey, yep. What's going on?
Well, we're going to talk about a rare deal.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to
Build a snowman.
Yeah, you guys. You guys can do the comic if you want. You can read it.
All right. Let me bring it up here in the chat. We have Rarity and Derpy. Who wants who?
I don't know. You guys can both do it if you want.
Well, Ben's here too, so three of
Oh
us.
yeah.
But
Oh
I know
well.
what you mean. I'm
I say
fine
just pick
either
it.
way.
And just go. Okay. Fire it away.
Ben, Tim, who do you guys want?
I could take Rarity.
All right.
Okay. And begin.
Well, no, we haven't discussed Derpy yet.
Fire.
Oh, wait. I mean, it
Derpy's a
doesn't really
cute
matter.
one.
You want me to take her?
Sure.
I'll take her.
Okay.
Rarity starts.
Right. Excuse me, but what is this? What is this? What is my life? I'm sorry. When I agreed to move my boutique to Counterlot, I didn't agree to this.
How'd it get burned?
How'd it get burned?
Rarity, but these were the contract terms you agreed to.
And then the muffin top panel.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Ding.
So yeah, this was the episode. Yeah, for the episode last week. So pretty much this one was a tricky comic to come up with because there's no boutiques that I could reference that were in Cantlot or anything else. So what I kind of had to do was use the one from the Castle Sweet Castle episode when they're in the betting shop and kind of built the boutique that I made for Derpy based off that and just put a ton of muffin objects around it. The real muffin is actually hiding. There's a real brown muffin that's hiding there, but I forget which panel it's in. It's like the one where Derpy is in, just soloing. Actually, it's the one with Rarity. It's up in the top left panel.
I was actually going to just ask that because there are so many muffins in here. Which one is the real one?
Yeah, there's a brown one in there, but I'm not sure where. I mean, it's in one of the Rarity panels. It's up in the top left panel. I hid it behind something. But yeah, that was the one thing someone was mentioning before. But yeah, they're there. But yeah, there's really not much that I went about this comic. It's very straightforward. I mean, I had fun. I mean, this one I haven't drawn a lot of Rarity. And there were a lot of Derpy this season, so it was nice to come back and do one of those.
Sure.
Yeah. So it was pretty easy. There's not really too much to say on this one, unlike the past comics I've done, because it's pretty straightforward. I kind of got this episode one kind of off, but what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, anything else? Anything
Not
else?
that I can think of. Not that I can think of. This pretty much that was pretty straightforward. This one, unlike the one that I just did for this week. Then I have a lot to talk about next week about that one.
All right.
This one though, it's just getting back in the groove of doing episode comics. That's pretty much it. Now, but hey, now I got 6 weeks of episode comics to do coming up, so gotta get on them now.
Exactly. All right.
But yeah, so there you go.
All right. Thanks for stopping by, Tox.
No problem. Thank you. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next week then.
Later.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Moving along here. How about... Yes, I see you both Colt and Ice in there, but you know me, I always like to pad the comics out a little bit. So why don't we do... I'm going to do this, and then I'll get to one of you guys shortly. How about this one by Cinnamon Stitch, titled My Little Pony Plush Commission, Surrey Polar Mare. This one... This one I decided to show partially because I haven't seen a truckload of Surrey Polar Mare plushies, so I thought this one would be a great one to show. And second, I can't remember the last time I showed a Cinnamon Stitch plushie. And I thought, you know what? Why not? This one looks great.
Oh, I read that description wrong. It says it's 15 inches tall, but I took a look at that and I thought that said 15 feet tall. I was going to scream out, hot damn, that's one hell of a plush.
Hold that thought, because There's one coming up here that I think will be worth your time. But, quote, getting her ready for her journey to her forever home. She's 15 inches tall, made of Shannon Minky, machine embroidered, eyes and cutie mark. Open for commissions. Just note me if you're interested. So, yeah, unfortunately, there's no, I can't name the commissioner. Probably wish to stay anonymous. But, overall, anything you guys have to say about this one?
She still has the stolen fabric.
What
Although
is
it's
it with
different.
these? What is it with these plush makers making everything so damn freaking good? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love seeing these plushies. They're just so. Oh, I can only wonder how much they go for because I just kind of really want one just to cuddle up with at night, practically. I don't even sleep with dolls.
Therefore,
I really like what she did with her mane. Shut up. But seriously speaking, that was good craftsmanship on the mane. All the curls and stuff. I really like that.
yep. Yeah, it's kind of it's a difficult thing to really figure out how to make a plushie that looks both true enough to the show and yet is bearable enough to make. So when we say plush is this good, well, it was a good plush in general. They deserve recommendations for this. That's it.
All right, let's move on. Surrey Polymer by Cinnamon Stitch. All right, why don't we get to it? This is Cold Steel Stallions, A Rare Crime. We have Rarity, who's mostly monologuing, and Applejack. Who wants who?
I suppose I could take Rarity again.
All right.
Just wish I had some war music to play along in the background with this.
No, I'm not going to provide it.
Aw.
Tim, do you want AJ?
Sure.
All right. Rarity starts.
Alright. Recently, my friend Rainbow Dash was accused for a crime she didn't commit. Only I, Rarity, with an amazing eye for detail, can clear Rainbow Dash's name. I must investigate to keep my friend from getting kicked out from the Wonderbolts and go to prison. Thus, my epic detective story begins.
Rarity, are you going to help out or not? I've been talking to yourself for over an hour.
Insert Metal Gear Solid noise.
Alert.
Yeah.
You know what the worst part is all about this? I swear to God, you nailed me to a T there, Colt, with Rarity. It's like, sometimes, you ever get onto monologues with your own self that you lose track of time? That's the worst of it. It's like, why am I monologuing to myself? And why am I doing it on such this subject? Whatever it might be.
Also, he gave Rainbow a rainbow mane even in monochrome.
I actually think that's awesome.
Yep.
Especially like
That's Rainbow Dash.
I especially like what you did on the reds, Colt. They're really striking and they look really nice.
Well, it's kind of a Sin City thing, I think.
True, but it's not the Sin City part like with the first panel, but just more the just more
It's a
what he
nice
did with
idea.
the mane
It doesn't have
itself.
to be a reference, it's a nice idea. Also, he gave AJ a scarf.
He always
Which is
does
nice.
that. Seriously,
Which is
she
nice.
should wear a scarf. She looks cute in it.
I misheard that as giving AJ a scar.
He probably did too.
Knowing what
I wouldn't
she's
put it
done,
past
I
him.
wouldn't be shocked if she has one. And if anything, Do it right down the eye, and she'd be all like a badass or something.
Anyway,
Anything else you want to say on it, Colt? Oh, hi, Discord. Want some cake? Oh, by the way, that reminds me. I should probably look for all the Easter eggs he puts in these.
sadly I don't see any creeper with a Tommy gun anywhere.
Yet.
I
Ha!
should equip them with one.
The writing on the wall in the back there.
Yep.
Pinkie Pie was here.
Just seen the writing on the wall.
All right. Well then. Ooh. I'd like to see that.
Yep.
Kind of see where you go with it, Colt. But with that in mind, shall we move on? All right. Get to you after this one, Ice, so hold on to your hat. How about we do... Okay, let's do this one next. I think this will be perfect. This is Light Falls by Rain Gear. I think... Did you recommend this one to me, Tim? I can't remember. I thought you did. It was a Timendation.
Because it came too early in the week, so you could have missed it.
Okay, that's right. I swear I saw this one in my inbox, but I must have dismissed it or something. So yeah, I'm kind of feeling bad about that. But let's talk about this one. What do you guys have to say about this one?
Not gonna make the obvious joke, but I'm loving the background. I'm definitely loving the background. The sort of maelstrom effect going on in the background there, especially with the twin falls. You know, right visible through the dark clouds.
Mm-hmm.
The aqueduct itself is just amazing. This sort of Greco-Roman type of environment.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, dirt for yourself. I mean, we got the detail to the mane and her tail, and especially on the wings. It's she, obviously, that sort of embarrassed look on her face is like she's looking over your shoulder, kind of like, what exactly are you looking at?
Or if anything, damn it, I've been spotted.
I'm like, just admiring the background, dear.
One thing that I want to mention is look at. Damn it! All right, fine. I'll just say it. Look at her tail in the water. I'm really impressed with the effect that he did with her tail in the water there.
Yep. Really though, that cloud is bleeding rainbows all over the place. Look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a frequent idea. Well, it's a show accurate idea to give Pegasite this kind of architecture and this kind of aesthetic, but it's not a bad one.
No, it's not.
It's kind of interesting to see the idea of essentially making a vortex cloud that is not seemingly moving, and kind of freeze it and build a city on it.
That is kind of, an awesome idea, though. Like a city built atop a tornado, of all things.
Yep.
That I wonder how you would even go about doing something like that, because that would be something really cool to see in the actual show proper.
I guess you just have to get used to a whirling and twirling lifestyle then.
They probably should be. They probably might be some help. They might be. how can I try and say this without sounding like an idiot? They're probably one places like one hell of a dance club, probably.
Puts an interesting spin on life, I'll say that much.
That I see what you did there.
Yeah, all those previous lines were intentionally puns.
This is the city where Twist is best pony.
I've been upstaged. All right. Let's go on to the next one. Nothing's going to top that one. All right. As I said, Ice, you're up. Ice stickers, Princess Me Am who? This one, I like this one myself just because... Well, you'll see. We have Sassy Saddles, Rarity, and Princess Cadence. Who wants who?
I've hosted it the last 2 times. I might as well go ahead and make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, I have. Quite a lot of Rarity this time around.
Well, considering we've had Rarity past 2 weeks in a row, and we're going to have another one this week.
Does she even count as rarity anymore?
Rarity is now commonplace.
All right.
Well, she's always been the commoner.
Who do you want, Tim?
I'll take Sassy.
All right. Rarity starts.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
I feel like we're forgetting something. Are you sure we are forgetting something?
Of course not. Everything is to my pattern. All 3 princess dresses and the landmark dresses all set up.
3 princesses?
Yes, 3 princesses. Princess Celestia, Luna, and Twilight.
Oh, Celestia, I knew something wasn't right. We forgot one. This is not going to be good, darling.
Meanwhile, Shining! Shining! We're going to Canterlot! So, Ice, what do you have to say about this one? Assassin's Creed. Well, she does have all those pins, so
Yep.
there you go. Huh, no kidding.
Admittedly, it was actually something I kind of thought of during the episode proper, because we've seen dresses, obviously based off of Twilight, Celestia, and Luna, but Princess Cadence didn't even get a mention, let alone a shout out, and I'm like kind of wondering. I can only wonder what she would say if she were to get a wind of this in the Crystal Empire.
And people are saying that Cadence was just made to sell stuff. Look at her here.
Well, I was going to say, look at this scenario.
Yep.
Huh. Well, they look good.
Yeah, they look okay.
Yeah,
Not
they
big
look.
enough for a comic.
Sam, I actually like how you did Sassy herself. I mean, Sassy's design came out really well done, in my opinion.
Yep.
I really like that second panel with Rarity and her face hoof.
Yep.
That is the look that perfectly summarizes it. Oh, this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well. 3 days later, you blew it up, didn't you? Damn you! Damn you all to hell!
The eyes are the best part, though.
Mm-hmm. That's I couldn't help make that reference because in the comment I left, I had Cadence blowing up the whole city block. Anything else, Ice?
They're going to join the Equalists.
Why does that not surprise me?
It's crystal clear.
Oh. Alright, why don't we move on? Wait, why didn't I just call you Ice? I'm sorry. about
Call him,
that
maybe.
Again. Huh?
Call him, maybe.
Oh, we're kind of at the end.
We didn't call him Ice because he's too much on fire. If you'll excuse me.
It's entertaining because it's true.
I was actually just gonna say as I was typing that, and the next noise you hear is the sound of a window breaking.
That's what I
Alright.
thought.
Let's move on. I saw Deso in here earlier, and I see Deso in the chat, in the Cinemaquestria chat, so let's not keep him waiting anymore. This is Philly Spitfire and Stormy Flare by Deso, or Deso. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. There's that. This one came last night, and darn it all, it was so darn cute, I had to throw this one in. Not very hard to see why.
It is very adorable.
Show. Okay.
Oh, and speak of the devil, look who appeared in the chat room just as soon as you threw it in there.
The devil?
Kind of a reason. But
Yeah.
anyway.
The show is now the devil. The devil watches Pony.
The devil
draws
wears
Pony.
pony.
Yep. In any case, it is a good job indeed, particularly so fast.
Say, for a quick drawing, that's what made it so great.
Yep. The expressions are great, the shading is pleasant, the combination of colors is fine. The combination of styles, that's the outline, the shading combined with the sky is very good.
Aww.
Yeah, it's a very good job.
So what you're saying is Spitfire is a mama's girl.
Well, you can't call Spitfire not awesome, so she's entitled to be that at least.
No, I'm not trying to make it out to sound rude, actually. I'm actually kind of thinking, that's actually
Nice string.
That's actually kind of nice. It's a nice character trait for her.
Yep. It's nice. It's nice to actually see it happen on screen.
I would say we would need to see more of that, but then again, speaking from the fact that I was a mama's boy myself.
Only an hour and a half to finish this one. That's insane. All right. Anything else? Anything else to show to say. And if I'm still pronouncing your name wrong, if it's just show, then I'm sorry. Again, I have a terrible track record when it comes to pronouncing names. But if you have anything else to say, please do so. Okay. One thing I'll note while we're sitting here, folks, looking out in the street. Okay, it is just show. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Clouds are rolling in, so if I just stop to close the windows, that's why. I did not know it was going to start raining today.
You threw rain out the window, did you?
As a matter of fact, I have not. Okay. Give him another minute to type some stuff in.
Yep, the stream delay is a problem.
Now yeah.
So we can't exactly get around it.
I sure wish we could. I mean, any instant. Obviously, it's like calling a phone. There's always going to be that delay, but oh well. All right, why don't we move on? How about this next? Oh, this one has to come with a warning because it's uber cute. And there it is, the thunder. We'll get through this one, and then I'll bring this one up, and I'm going to close the windows. But this is Oblus's MLP meeting. So if you'll excuse me, I'll be right back. Tim, Ben, cover for me.
Well, let me at least try pulling this up here.
Pew, 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 pew.
Go, we got you covered. Bring in the heavy artillery. Okay. Okay, so that's actually, let's see. Oh, dear God, it's like My Little Dash all over again, only not. And
It looks like I got shot at too.
yeah. So yeah, this is like EQG Twilight meets her Philly self. I mean, I could just imagine if like Unicorn Twilight or Alicorn Twilight had, as a full grown was able to meet her human self. But I mean, meeting her in a Philly in a box at her doorstep. I mean, this just screams MLD like right there.
MLT.
Oh, it's yeah.
All right, I'm back. This one I wanted to put in, but I'll note that Tim also recommended it to me. And yeah, it fell under, oh God, this is heart attack inducing. I had to put it in to give the chat a shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's screaming My Little Dashie, but you know what? I still wanted to put it in.
Matter.
Yeah, it's like I still wanted to put it in just because even if you take that out, the concept is still
Also,
way too
yeah,
adorable.
also because I can't exactly deny that its light work is very good, and they kind of positioning, or rather the, how to put it. Well, look at her hand there, and look at her shadow. It's kind of work with foreshortening, work with perspective. It's rather good.
Just looking at some of the comments on here, and I'm just imagining human Twilight being like, "Oh, aren't you just the cutest little test subject?"
That's just evil.
Who knows?
At least I'm thinking so. Some might disagree, and you might make an argument, but it's like, darn it, this is way too cute. All right. Anything else?
Nothing really
No.
jumps to mind.
All right. Well then, let's move on. This is Zero Blues or Oblus's MLP meeting. It's still heart attack inducing. How about... Let's see. Oh, here we go. Let's go with this one next. The Greatest Life-Size Trixie Plush by Agatrix. Remember what I said about holding that thought about that last plushie, Mr. Ben? Yeah. This one was a Timendation, but I also saw this one in my inbox and wanted to put it in. So, here you go, kind of thing. I hate to just say that, but the great and powerful Trixie, yay! She is for sale on eBay. Has a link there in the description. I'm not going to link it here since it's right there. She's 50 inches, about 130 centimeters long, and 20 inches, 50 centimeters tall, and 24 inches, or about 65 centimeters, to the top of her mane.
That's over 4 feet long. Wow.
I just checked the link, and it sold for $1,100.
Dang.
All things considered, though, that's actually probably cheap.
Well, just look at her, particularly the face, the mane, for the size. It's very, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
And she has accessories too.
With action-packed power fighting accessories.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I just always
We'll
like
get to
that.
later.
Whenever they're accessories, it's always mighty robot power fighting fist of actions kind of thing.
Super fighting ponies, huh?
Yeah.
Mega Mare.
I really like the hat. I know it's part of it, but Agatrix did a nice job with the hat and making it. Agatrix herself looks good in the hat. That's funny. I like that.
You know, of all things, this reminds me of. That reminds me of these princess dress things where it was like the doll was like about 3 feet or 4 feet high, but it actually came with a dress that the child itself could take off the doll and wear themselves.
Okay.
It was something I saw way back when I was a kid.
I think I remember what you're referring to vaguely, but I think I know what you're referring to.
It's kind of the same thing.
But yeah, just the fact that you could take the hat off the doll and wear it yourself. I mean, that's just pretty cool.
The cape's great too.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we? Sorry.
All she needs is a one, and the hat and the package is complete.
Yeah. No kidding, right? All right. Shall we move on?
Yep.
How about you kind of brought up princesses, Mr. Ben, so why don't we go there? Feel Like a Princess by Raccoon Coon. That name. I love that name. This was another one that I had in my inbox, but Tim threw at me.
I showed your inbox at you. Nice. Inbox bending.
Huh?
Inbox bending. But yeah, let's get back to the cute. And the pretty.
Yeah, I can pretty much just let this one speak for itself. But one thing I do want to say is these two got really popular really fast, and it's kind of one of those not hard to see why scenarios. But
well, it's a multifaceted thing. For one, they are the personality dynamic is fun, and the designs were memorable, and how they acted was memorable. Mm-hmm. Secondly, they are supposed to be and are essentially mirrors of Luna and Celestia, hence the dresses. And thirdly, Raven and Starfire.
Yeah,
kind of a reference to those, in a way, maybe unintentional, maybe intentional. I don't know.
I'm just surprised that
they stole the episode.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just saying. I'm just surprised that Tara Strong did not voice the actual Raven pony. I mean, I believe that was Andrea Libman that did that, and she did like a spot on impersonation. And I'm like,
Yep.
wow.
Well, we can't pay Tara Strong any more than we need to. I'm going to cite that as probably the reason that, because per character, they of course have to pay them per character, and even for quick one-offs like this. So I'm guessing that's the reason why. I wish she would have too, but yeah, no offense to Andrea. I think she did a fantastic job on that too. But yeah, given Tara Strong does Raven from Teen Titans, no, I'm not going to reference Go. Shut up. The fact of that, it would have been nice to hear Tara quote this one too.
But anyway, the picture itself, it's really quite well done. I find the work with particularly look at the lower parts.
Translucence.
The Luna dress is kind of just not too translucent, but just translucent enough to be true to the episode, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the big part, but the back skirt as well. As you can see, the other dress through it.
Raccoon.
And well, it's yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a very great translation from
It really is.
from the poly design to the human one. Just the personalities reflected in the faces, in the poses, and everything.
Now we have one for the Raven pony, but do we have anything for her sister? Yeah, I call them sisters. It's insignificant, but it's
They are
good enough
supposed
for
to
me.
be referenced in Lunar Celestia.
Right.
So
But do we have a name for her? The other one?
I forget.
I don't.
It's the Raven one that's kind of took off.
I don't think we have a name for the Celestia counterpart one. Not even a fandom one. If there is, I'm not aware of one.
Me neither.
Good Lord, is her smile infectious though?
Yep.
I'm loving the cute blonde hair, but then again, I don't know. Just a lot of the blonde ponies on these shows just sort of stand out to me.
Yeah, kind of. Even though the Raven pony kind of stole the show there, and not the show the artist, but the show the show. But here, I believe the Celestial lookalike kind of steals this picture.
All right, why don't we move on? How about... Okay, kind of since we're on the same episode. This one is titled You're Late by BwB. Quote, the meeting started 30 minutes ago. Business Rarity is getting really tired of your shit. Meanwhile, Sassy Saddles is always happy to see you look bad in front of the boss. End quote.
Reading that description and just looking at the picture, I just thinking back to Weeble's business cat, only inserting rarity in in the space instead.
All I can imagine is something like the market, it better be stable or you're going to get it. Making as many business and cat-related puns as possible. I'm sorry, horse-related puns as possible.
Cat horse. Anyway, that hair though. Or is it her tail? I don't know.
I think
That's a very cat tail.
It is. Now that you mention it.
Sassy's best cat. Those faces are fairly show accurate in terms of that we've seen those expressions in the show in both of them.
I really like this watercoloring type detail. I'm not sure it's an actual watercolor. Doesn't say, but yeah, it kind of keeps. You walk into an office and you're bound to see some kind of watercolor or something that looks like a watercolor. So it kind of only adds to the charm of it already.
It is a watercolor.
Okay.
Yeah. That is just. It is not the watercolor. It's a digital painting, but just
It's going for that
you say,
style.
What watercolors hang in offices, and this is an office picture that looks like a watercolor, kind of Inception.
Because we're artsy fartsy here.
Yep.
But
it's also the color scheme kind of.
Someone's gonna drop.
That's probably me.
Huh. No, I think it's Tim who's going to. But anyway, yep, there he goes. I think he was going to mention about the colors. It happens.
Yeah, it's about to say, it looks drab. Okay, he's back.
Yay!
Yeah, the color scheme kind of makes it look grimdark as fuck for some reason.
It makes it. You mentioned that note, and it actually makes Rarity and Sassy stand out because of
it. Does they do? Colorful houses.
Mm-hmm. Seriously, how do they bend like that?
But will it bend?
Anyway, why don't we move on?
Why do I see that this could probably exist as some sort of alternate universe side of ponies, where instead of like Rarity being just a fashion designer, she's like a straight up businessman, CEO of a large corporation?
I could see something like that happening.
Well, though the episode from which Sassy came kind of threw a little bit of a difference into that, because Rarity showed herself not to be that much into the money part as she's into the creating part.
Right. Good point. Yeah, but
yeah, she's still the billionaire mayor.
Yeah. This next one is Mod Pie Benefit Sculpture by Dead Heart Mare.
Super Mod away!
Let's see. Quote, "This fine miniature sculpture is of Mod Pie in her debut appearance in Season 4 of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, as she valiantly leaps up a crumbling pile of rocks and boulders to save her younger sister, Pinkie Pie. Sculpture stands at 5.5 inches in height and 4.5 inches in length, containing armature, I hope I pronounced that right, armature wire to hold Maud in her flying leap, and a bit of thick wire in her helmet to keep the metal spike on top from breaking. The pile of rocks at the base were all made of special polymer clay that looks like stone and has tiny inclusions and glittery bits to make it look authentic. Maud is removable from her base for safe shipment. If you'd like your own custom mini sculpture, please let me know in the comments. Pony sculptures are usually between 2 and 3 inches tall. I like to keep them mini Funko figurine size so that they can be photographed or displayed with others. They usually run between $60 to $80, but the bigger and more complicated they are, the more the price will go up." I'm just going to end quote here. But anyway, if you want, let's talk about this piece, shall we?
Well,
I'm sorry, I just it does rock, yes.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Well, it's Mod, of course we did.
The stuff I have to put up with here. Anyway, this one was a Timendation, I will say that. And one of the reasons why I wanted to put this one in was this is actually a pretty unique little specimen. Obviously, we've shown a few sculptures on here before, but it was for various reasons that I wanted to show this one. Not just because it was a sculpture, but I thought she did a pretty good job with the whole posing and everything. Not just the posing in so much as just, of course, the having her leap through the air bit, having her in the middle of this action. I thought that was pretty darn cool and a good choice.
That is really awesome, and it's just, I'm sorry, like I mentioned in the chat room, I just get that feeling of the, I must go, my people need me, and she just, straight super mares away.
Yep.
But
Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, it's still on eBay right now. I mean, it's still got like less than 6 days to go. It's like the time left it has of now is like 5 days and 22 hours. But nobody has bid on it yet, and the starting bid is like $160 as of right now, as of this recording.
Okay.
So yeah, if anyone wants to jump on it, I mean, it's still open. I mean, people can go ahead and do that. In fact, there's the eBay link is in the description right there. So,
Do it, folks.
do it, you Phillies.
Yep.
Dead Heart Mare's attention to detail was also what won me over on this one. Not just the crumbling rocks base, but there's an alternate. I'll bring up the alternate picture, the other side. You can get a good profile shot of it. Oop. That explains it. Anyway, check out some of the detailing on her. Like the tail, for instance, or how about the helmet? All of it was wonderfully done. Very well crafted. All right. Kind of a dead air here, but
I really can't think of anything else to say that hasn't already been said, so that's kind of why I'm kind of silent, to be honest with you.
right. I figured. Why don't we move on? How about we haven't done a comic in a while, so let's do that. How about do you want the Double W Brothers or Beavernator?
Ooh, they're both good. I suppose we could go ahead and do Beavernators.
All right. Conjured Currency by Beavernator. We have Sassy and Rarity. Again.
Might as well go ahead and make it 4 for 4.
Weren't you Sassy last time, Tim?
He's so sassy, he sassed himself right out of the call.
And of course, we have a good truckload of them in the description. We only have Luna and Celestia there, so I'll take those two. But Sassy starts whenever. If he doesn't appear in a couple minutes, I'll take the lead.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't Ben, you and I will go.
All right.
Rarity, I've been thinking over our dispute earlier. I understand you may be somewhat uncomfortable making hundreds of copies of the same dress.
So you do agree with me?
Well, no, actually. If anything, I'm now less supportive of what you did. I get that you were very enthused about making this. You weren't very enthused about making the same dress so many times over. But did you have to sell them at 8 times the normal retail price? You wanted the princess dress to not sell, so you should stop making them, didn't you?
Well, yes, but then they sold out anyways. And now the Carousel Boutique's been rebuilt out of solid gold.
Sweet Celestia. Maybe we should donate some of this to the local orphanage?
The orphanage is modeled in pure gold. These cultists are eating more fancy fruit than I am.
Holy lunar mother of Fausticorn.
See, Sassy Saddles, when you see something's limited edition, you can double or triple your MSRP for making less of a thing. It's called scarcity.
I see. But was eightfold really necessary?
Sure it is. Scarcity. Princess Luna, you want a free hat?
Is that 3 hats stacked on top of one another? I shall indulge! Oh, look. 50 orders of whatever Luna's wearing. Those orders were all mine. I want 153 hats stacked on one another. Insert your Team Fortress 2 reference here. Okay then, Rarity.
I have made a huge mistake.
I guess we'll get at least 100 orders. Can you manage 15,300 hats?
This is it. This is how it ends. The planet will turn into a giant pile of fashion and accessories. ... Wait a second, I'm Rarity. There's nothing better that could happen.
Oh, these Golden Beaver comics. Beavernator comics. Oh, I pronounced that right. Also, I think someone in the comments pointed out, wouldn't a solid gold orphanage actually be a bad thing because it conducts heat so well? So come winter, all the heat's going to escape?
I thought it was copper
I don't know.
that conducted heat more than anything, really.
Well, any metal is a heat conductor to some degree, but that's kind of what my point is that, and the commenter's point is that it's going to conduct heat so well that you're either going to be running the heater for a really high temperature just to make ends meet, or you're going to end up freezing.
That's true. I'm just looking through some of these comments here. Like you said, these orders are all mine. I want 153 hats stacked on top of each other. You're no longer allowed to play TF2. and then Rarity rounded it up too of every hat onto a boat and accessorizes the crap out of every one of them. And from that day forward, anytime a bunch of hats together in one place, it's called a boutique, unless it's a haberdashery.
God bless you, TF2. God bless you.
See, this is why I love Beavernator's comics, is because not only do we have the actual comic itself, but sort of further expands upon the joke, and then the comments themselves are just as good as the comic, if not better sometimes.
You are no longer allowed to play Team Fortress 2. All right, why don't we move on? We're going to go way over time today.
All right.
How about this one was a Tim insisted I put this one in. Whose size splash of fashion. Kind of not hard to see why. So I'll let you guys kind of I'll let him take the lead on this one.
Yeah, I've been watching him make this piece for several days actually on his streams, and well, I believe the rest speaks for itself. Although I could say that this new approach, kind of new style of his, is quite delightful to watch, quite delightful to see. As you will see if you open up his gallery, his episode piece he's done, which was too late to be included in our show here.
I'll open up the gallery though.
Yeah, it kind of follows a similar style. He kind of changed a few things a little bit here and there compared to how he used to do things all the time. he did do several pieces with these kind of features, like in this Splash of Fashion and the new episode piece.
Oh, well, let's bring that
But-
one up since we're here. This is a rare case of investigation.
Yep.
I didn't want to put the letter S in. There. And for you two,
Rage's eyes own me here. They
I'm
just
more.
do.
I love the hair myself. Rainbow Dash's hair. That's a great touch here.
Yep. It's excellent. It's because, well, it's the main piece of evidence.
Well, not only that, but of course, the whole black
And
and
the
white.
effects.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
effects. The black and white
Yeah.
noir is great. And oftentimes when someone does this, whether in film or still art, and they either use colors to emphasize something or just for like more of an artistic touch, if they pull it off right, like in this case, it looks amazing because, the colors stand out from the black and white.
Couldn't
Also,
have
look
said
at
it any
her
better
eye there.
myself.
Look at her eye there. It's not just the color, also the reflections.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I watched it made. He actually showed that he can make pieces very quickly. Because, well, he's been making a Splash of Fashion for several days, I think, and this one he just made on the spot very quickly, and look how it turned out.
Damn, sister.
And just like he puts in the description, can have enough ray rating.
That sounds actually delicious. I want a glass.
Sorry, I wasn't trying
Bony
to.
shaped one. Yeah, but both of these pieces are quite excellent, to my mind.
All right, why don't we move on? All right, we have 2 comics and a still art piece left. Let's go with this one by the BwB brothers titled Business. All right, we have Suri, Coco, the Dr. Pony from Secret of My Excess. I think his name's Dr. Muffin Top. And Bulk Biceps.
Oh.
Who wants who?
I was looking at the wrong Skype group. I was like, wonder why isn't he posting the link? And I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Let's see what we got here. Come on, load faster. Load faster.
Load now, damn it.
I really don't care, to be honest, on who I voice, actually.
Tim?
I'll take the Doctor.
All right. I'll take Suri for poops and giggles. Whoever has... you want Coco then, Ben?
Sure, I could do that.
Bulk has 1 panel. Who wants him?
I think Ben should.
All right.
I suppose I could do that, yeah. Alright. So I take it I start then.
Coco starts.
Dear Rarity, Manhattan Carousel is a big success. Nothing bad has happened yet.
Boom!
Suri!
It's been a while.
And that slasher smile.
I see
Love
you-
that.
I see you've become Rarity's lapdog. Okay.
I'm not a dog. I'm a pony.
Is this one of the dresses you sell here? Wouldn't it be awful if someone were to drop coffee on it?
Zip. Suri, I don't mind if you talk bad about me, but don't, and she German
Ooh.
suplexes. Obstruct
Ah!
business.
Ah!
Fatality.
Damn you. Just wait until I...
Oh, what was that? I'm not done yet, you know.
Later.
Well, Miss Suri, who did you tell this time?
Just fix me already, you quack.
I see your problem. You have a Twisted personality.
Ugh, that pun was not funny.
Is there?
Way to go! Left is the best medicine! Yeah!
As your doctor, I advise you not to be mean for at least 6 months.
You do a
I
great.
love how,
You do a great.
I love how
Coco
Coco should. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. I don't mean to cut you off or anything like that, but thank you on that. I just love how Coco was just able to beat Siri up, and not so much beating her up, but her facial expression just never changed at all.
Where have I seen that before? No, really. I'm trying to think of that now. It's like, where have I seen it where it's just they beat them up without changing much of their facial expressions? Oh well.
I don't know.
Attack on Titan.
Maybe so. All right. Anything else to be said here?
That face on Siri, like right as bulk biceps, is just cracking her spine. Then again, Siri's facial expressions at all just being suplexed and body slammed and
That was kind of part of the point of the comic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then again, these guys love doing the silly facial expressions, much to our ever delight.
our everlasting delight, you mean?
All right, why don't we move on? I was trying to avoid that. When the Sun is Away, Celestia Will Play by View Rastiper. I always hope I'm pronouncing that name right.
I think.
Well, I sure hope so, because I've been doing it for how long now?
Self praise.
This one was a Timendation as well, but I saw this one and wanted to put this one in right away. What drew me to it was, again, it's the hair, the mane. But for this case, it was because of the sparkles. The lighting done to it was wonderful as is, but adding the sparkles to it actually really enhanced it. She looks beautiful here. I really like that.
I'm just glad we get a frontal shot this time.
As opposed to that one we showed about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that either, but still, at least I'm not tempted to make the obvious joke.
Well,
yeah.
suppose. By the way, give us a link.
Oh, did I?
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you gave it to us, but you didn't there you go.
Yep.
Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, kind of like I said to him, even though the leg looks a bit squarish, both of them actually. The rest of her is pretty nice, and well, having followed him essentially since he started, the improvement is quite obvious over the time, and the change, the evolution of the style, are very nice to watch. And here it's kind of, in some places it is a little bit minimal, but in others, essentially it's a conservation of detail. Not too much of it in one place. That is not too much of it all over the place.
I don't think sorry.
Yeah. No.
I don't think I've ever seen Celestia in a night shot with snow.
Yeah, me neither.
So this was
ditto.
a really cool piece for the concept. Also, I should make a note. This is a commission for Scuffer. Hope I'm pronouncing that name right. For winning a Brony Home contest prize. Here is the link to his Scuffer's profile page.
Yeah, in my opinion, here the expression and the hair and the mane detail are the best parts.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
And
I'm also liking I'm also liking the wings too, the detail on the wings as well, the feathers, and like you said, the sparkles in the mane. And apologize again for cutting you off. I'd never mean to do that.
I cut you off all the time, even though I don't play Mario Kart. What I like the most here is the back wing, actually. The one that's not the one in front, but the one in the back, her left wing. Because it's positioned in a way that both makes sense compared to the right wing, and it's pretty, actually. It once again points to him for the color palette of the scene. That's the foreground. The scene is lighted, but the background is definitely a night sky and the night landscape. It's a very nice combination for Celestia in particular. I'm done.
I wonder if Celestia builds snow ponies and stuff in the snow and all that. You know, if she enjoys the winter scenery.
Maybe.
I suppose she probably would. It would not surprise me if, if she had the chance, like on a day off, that she would just run out into the courtyard on a snowy day and just start making snow pony angels.
That would look so cool.
Yeah.
All right. Last comic. This is Mystic Alpha's Day in the Lives of the Royal Sisters #1. It's a shorter one. We just have Celestia and Luna. Couple lines. Who wants who?
I'll take the usual.
All right. I'll do Luna then. Good morning, sis.
Heading off to breakfast.
Affirmative. Donut Joe just delivered a large batch of donuts. Swoop.
that facial expression on Celestia there.
It's the reason I recommended it. Seriously. That was my note to EJ.
It really was. That was the best part. Was like he put the link and then that face. And I saw the comment. I'm like, yeah, that is a cute face, isn't it?
Maximum donuts.
Maximum donut drive.
Yep.
The fact that she just slams Luna right out of the way and just sends her flying is also a bonus on that.
Yep.
Why do I actually see this being not only just a real thing, but worst of all, it's something that's a little more commonplace than we think. That is to say, this happens to Luna more times than she cares to count.
About the only thing that would have made that that expression better is if we had like a scrunchy nose on that one.
Well, it almost does it, so good enough.
Almost. I mean, it's good enough, yeah. So.
Well, not always, but in this case, yes.
All right. Why don't we go on? And that concludes it all. That's the art. So, let's get on to the comic.
Yay.
The actual comic reading. Are you guys ready?
We should be.
Yep.
All right, let's open up here. Now, like I said, I like this. I definitely like the cover art here, but my only complaint is, of course, cadence. Under the premise of, so why not a micro comic with her?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was just a matter
It's
of...
the sequel that never happened.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm guessing it was just a case of, we're cutting it off here, shut up. Not a very good reason, no, but whatever. Anyway, the alternative one...
The other cover art.
Yep, I was just going to get to that. One of the alternative covers that Andy Price made, probably one of the most famous of the comic covers of the entire,
Ever.
not just the micro series, but the whole MLP comics as a whole. Most people, when you ask them what's their favorite one or one of their favorite comic covers, they're probably going to point to this one.
Yep. It has figures made of it, for goodness sake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we
I
even
think we
showed it on
actually.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I definitely think it's the relative, how relatable it is. I mean, think about it.
Also Luna.
Well, that too, but that's another story. Anyway, I still say that some of it's the relativeness. I know people who they're literally addicted to coffee, and they probably drink about this much in a given day. Anyway, we open up one morning in Canterlot Castle. What an eventful evening at the gloaming. Hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yep.
I ran off a manticore in the forest, then my guard and I scoured the fjords for an owl bear that were terrorizing the subjects. Delightful. Ah, and then I saw a family of raccoons in a trash can. Also delightful.
Well, it sounds like quite the night. I can only imagine what the day will bring me. Delegates from Crystal Empire here go over Winter Snow Festival, as well as 100 meetings and more paperwork, don't you know?
The bureaucratic concerns of the day can be no less disconcerting than the events of the night. Trivial, really.
Well, I know it might seem that way, but sometimes rolling over the dice is a bit of a challenge.
I'm sure I could handle both the night and day. I fought the faceless perils in the dark. You're about to fight a roll of red tape.
No, really, I don't think you'd be prepared for the kind of day I have ahead of me. It really is challenging to...
Are you saying your job is harder than mine?
No, we're just different.
Because I am quite capable of handling all the duties expected of the royal family, day or night.
I know you think that, but...
And I shall do so today.
I'm telling you, you don't even want to try it. Leave it.
Oh, it can't be that hard. It's only the day, after all. 'Twould be easy.
Twould? What? Easy? Fine.
Yes, fine. I shall rule the day for the day. What fun.
Yes, fine. This is my royal scheduling advisor, Kibbitz. Kibbitz, Luna will be taking over my duties for the day.
By the way, check out that coffee mug.
Princess.
I can't help. Before we go there, I can't help but especially laugh at it, giving that Monday as a corruption of the word Moon Day. Go ahead.
Princess, but you have a full day planned.
Luna has decreed that she can handle things for the day. Show her the ropes of the day shift.
Come, Tibbets. Tell me the ventures I shall endure on this glorious morning.
But
Have a good day.
Good. The day shall be splendid. Boing, 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 boing. Well, sorry.
Well, very well. Princess Luna, we really must discuss the day ahead of you. Firstly, you have a visit to the Watchtower for the morning appraisal of Equestria and your daily meeting with the Royal Guard. Then...
A meeting with military minds. How exciting. But first we shall break our fast with pastries and the juice of oranges.
Oh, no, Princess, we are already 3 minutes behind schedule. I will have a bran biscuit sent along for you to eat as we walk to the Watchtower. We must keep to the schedule.
Does my sister always keep to the schedule?
Oh, yes. Sometimes she's even 2 minutes and 4 seconds ahead of it. It's amazing.
Then to the schedule we shall keep.
But you need to... You need to say your part first.
We shall renegotiate this brand biscuit, though. This part displeases me.
Okay, fair enough. Then to the schedule we shall keep. We shall renegotiate this brand biscuit, though. That part displeases me.
But you need your fiber, Princess.
This meal is the embodiment of disappointment.
You have a proper meal scheduled for lunch, which we will get to only if we get through this morning's list. Are you ready to do your morning survey of Equestria?
Ponyville seems to be in fine health. Manhattan is abuzz with normality. Cloudsail has not fallen from the sky. No threats are rising at this time. Success! How excited to see so many ponies out and about during the day. The peasantry of our kingdom enjoying the land. Thrilling!
Let's not call them the peasantry, princess. It's not endearing.
Morning, Sam.
Night, Ralph. No. What about the serfs?
No,
The peons?
definitely not.
Civilians?
That will work.
Then let us return to watching the civilians lead their simple lives.
Actually, we must be off. You have to be present for the Royal Guard morning report in 2 minutes.
Ah, the Royal Guard. Action. Pearl. I await their thrilling tales of the day's upcoming adventures.
And then we're all going to polish our armor to a gleam and shine. After that, we have appearance at the bake sale at the Philly School down in Ponyville. I personally plan to buy some lemon bars.
We are going for a peaceful spell. The Royal Guard don't have much to do right now.
Give it 2 days.
And then we're going to go on every forest on patrol. We thought we saw a monster there yesterday.
Oh, goody. Did you?
Oh, goodness, no. It was just a possum. Gave Flash Sentry over there quite at the start, though.
It did.
Do any of you have anything interesting to report?
Princess, these are all important issues we need to discuss.
This thing on my hoof's getting worse. It's pretty interesting. Should I mention that?
Meanwhile, in a dark corner.
Dun dun dun.
What's the password? Fakir.
That'd be one of you two.
Princess Celestia! It's been so long since we've seen you! Welcome!
Welcome to Little Queen Spa. I think that meeting with the kitchen staff went very well, don't you?
It would have been much better had you let me sample the desserts that were preferred.
Nonsense! Do you know how much sugar is in their cake? Your glucose levels will thank me.
Kibitz is the reason people like me eat a lot.
And now we have a meeting for the delegates from the Crystal Empress Winter Snow Day Committee. I hope you like signing your name over and over on lots of official documents. I know I do.
What?
And as you can see, we hold the ceremonies at 4:45 in the afternoon instead of 4:30. We can make sure everyone has time to visit the refreshment stands before they sit down for the show.
Maybe we should even make it 5. Ponies could also visit the gift shop. What's an inspired idea?
And now this one's for Canonlot's agreements to provide 348 doves for the release at the opening ceremony. This one's an agreement that the doves could also be ivory if a sufficient number of eggshell white doves can't be found. And this one is our agreement to feed and house the doves until...
I must admit, I've never had to deal with such matters.
Oh, paperwork is most exciting. Your sister just loves it.
How does Celestia do this all day? She must have the patience of a zebra.
Ah, and that's the last one. Good thing. You get to go to the throne room to hear disputes.
Disputes? That sounds marvelously entertaining. Let us be off.
And then they took our gerbs!
Hey, now we won your cards. Fair and square.
Yes, this is most intriguing. A game of chance gone wrong. Swindlers wreaking havoc on the populace.
Oh, swindlers
There is
is...
such a harsh word.
Let's sing you another song about how we're the innocent party here, Princess.
No need for such dramatics. I have my decree. We shall cut the card in half. Both parties shall receive a half and be happy.
What? No, that'll ruin the cart.
That all seems well and good, but there are two of us. Can we cut it in thirds?
I love this panel here. Aha! That was trickery. Thou who's is most upset about the destruction of the cart is the true owner. Next.
Ah, that judgment of Solomon there.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that dude is deep.
Those ponies fleeced me out of all my fleece. My ship outballed.
Hey, now we want all that wool.
Fair and square.
How many bags are did they get out of it? 3? The same reasoning applies. We shall cut the sheep.
Well, look at the time, Princess, it's time to get you to the rest of your morning. You have so much to do.
The stallion twins with the
Propensity.
Thank you. Propensity to sing shall return all goods to those they have wronged. You are all dismissed.
Well, now, folks, so don't be that way.
How about double or nothing?
Now that is a royal obligation. I can't remember a time I have had such fun. Can we do that again?
I'm afraid not. You are all booked up right until sunset. Things to do, ponies to see.
Pity. The petty squabbles of the peasantry were a delight. Do you think they could come to court at night? No comment there. I should like to pass more judgments upon them.
What did we decide on when it came to the word peasantry? The good news is that we are almost done with the morning list. A few more things and then we can start in on the afternoon.
Wait, it's only 9 in the morning?
Actually, it's 9 and 7 minutes. We're 7 minutes later than I'd like to be. Oh dear, Princess Celestia would never be this far behind schedule. We must make up the time. What would she do if she knew we were behind on our docket?
Rejoice? Nothing.
Good. Let's get started on the section I've highlighted in blue.
And now it's time for a montage.
We're gonna need a montage.
Spam music.
Montage! Oh, we're gonna need a montage.
Bark, bark.
Funny, the corgis.
I wonder who they belong to, seeing as they're all royal pets.
You know, if you think about it, they're pretty well suited, the horsies, for massage therapy and all that jazz.
Yep.
You know, they got those strong front hooves, so it's like, there you go. Anyway.
Grand opening.
Dear Princess Celestia, today I discovered a new book in my library. Thought you'd want to know that. Love, Twilight Sparkle.
And if you pay attention, all the letters are signed by Twilight Sparkle.
Yep. I just wanted to throw
all
that
of
in
them.
there to that Luna's reading all these letters and she would probably said something like that. While Celestia would rejoice in it, Luna, it's like, really? Really?
Yep. Meanwhile, it's Celestia's.
I am dead on my hooves. How does Celestia lead such a hectic life? I'd rather take on a fully grown owl bear on my own than do all that again. Does she do this every day?
She does indeed, and she does it with both grace and dignity. Come along, lunch is just to walk through the entire castle away. Quick, Johns.
You do realize I'm normally asleep right now, don't you?
Oh, piffle. I fell asleep for 4 whole minutes during that presentation of the award for best attendance at the School for Gifted Unicorns. That should be enough, Pep, to get you through the rest of the afternoon.
I can hurt
Whiffle, whiffle,
you.
whiffle.
I can hurt you.
I'm sure you could, but if you do, you would never get your lunch.
Can I have cake?
Do you know what all that refined sugar will do to you?
It will make me most happy.
Fine, just don't blame me when your cholesterol suffers.
Also, can we just stop and just look at that Luna face right there? That pitiful Luna face just makes me want to just give her a hug.
Now that you mention it.
I didn't know she's a puppy. She probably is.
Oh, God. Luna the puppy. I would adopt one.
Luna the corgi. The alley corgi.
You know, it's been ages since I really experienced what it was like to be awake an entire day. The day is so full of life, and life is so, well, lively. It's a jumble of chaos and activities. Every pony's day is so full as they hustle about, doing as much as they can before they slumber. I only see the tail end of that as I take over the night of my watch of the night. But night can be so leisurely and quiet, even with potential of nighttime creatures skulking around, and the snarl of dreamscapes. It's still so peaceful.
Incidentally, this is why I prefer working the night shift anymore.
Yeah, I wonder why. I mean, nothing really happens. I have the feeling that Celestia may have been right, that I was a bit over my head in this task, and this feeling of defeat leaves me agitated. I do not care for this feeling.
Back up, princess. You told your sister that you could handle all this. She would never have let you try if she didn't think you could do it. I'm sure she's cocking her belt the castle, smiling from the shadows at what a good job you're doing. Zed.
Zed, call the Power Rangers!
The worst,
Lady Zed.
the worst part about this scene is, let's stop for just a second and ask ourselves just this one question here. If you put someone else in charge of your job and you had the day off, would you really be hiding in the shadows watching to see if they're doing a good job? Or would you be out doing what Celestia is doing here? Something you've always wanted to do for a very long time. In this case, relax at a day spa. Or would you rather be doing
read
that?
a journal about luxury yachts.
Mm-hmm. I thought so too.
Yeah.
Why, thank you, Kibitz. That was most reassuring.
And if you can't handle it, I'm sure your sister is in the shadows ready to step back into her duties.
The swell of reassurance has ruptured.
Just try to look for the fun in everything you're doing. That's what your sister does. Well, we'll get through this.
Can we just skip the things on the list that I find uneventful?
No.
Then onward. What's next on the list?
Oh, it will be quite easy to find fun in this. You are making an appearance at the Canterlot Garden Society's tea party. To mingle for a bit.
Mingle with the commoners? Yes! Very fun. Let us be off.
Let's not call them commoners either, shall we?
Fine. Civilians. Let us be off.
And Luna suddenly summons cast Summon Hat.
Hey, we saw Rarity just summon a briefcase from the hammer space. So if Rarity can summon an entire wardrobe, I think this should be nothing for Luna.
I just can't help but find it funny, that's all.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
Fresh air. Tea cakes. Tea cakes. The gentry. Yes, this is most agreeable. This is what I envisioned Celestia's day to be like.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. You have 30 whole minutes here. Oh, dear, I left my grid highlighter in the banquet hall. I can't go over the evening schedule without it. Must fetch it. Will you be okay without me for a while?
Off with you. I was once an all-powerful being that will forever live on in legends and lore. I think I can handle tea and crumpets. Let the mingling begin. You there, what dost thou enjoyeth in life? Charades? Novelty embroidery? A thrilling game of badminton?
Oh, Princess Luna. Oh, dear me. Well, I guess I enjoy a fine game of chess.
Chess? I greatly enjoy chess. I whiled many a banished hours away on the moon playing chess. We shall play. Now, it will be delightful.
Ah, isn't that lovely? But you see, I don't seem to have a chessboard on me.
Oh, sorry. It is of no concern. We shall make do. My rook at A1 takes your knight at A6. A foolish move to leave it so openly. Nicely coiffed, citizen.
Ah, but now my rook may take yours, Princess. A8 to A6.
That move displeases me.
Princess, I'm back, and I found an extra pink highlighter too. That'll make things extra fun when I'm going over the itinerary for the evening events. Why, what are you doing?
I'm losing the battle, but not the war. Do not fret. I shall win in the end.
You can't do that to these ponies. They are guests of the castle.
Which puts them at my disposal. Yes?
No.
Did you or did you not tell me to find the fun in the royal duties you have planned for this day? This is quite fun.
Quite fun.
Oh, Celestia. Your sister would banish me to the moon if she saw what you just did.
Let's not use that particular illusion again, shall we?
Oh, sorry.
I love that.
Ditto.
It's no matter. We need to press on. You have another meeting with the delegates from the Crystal Empire in 3 minutes.
But my tournament, I mustn't let the blue-haired unicorn win.
Pardon me, Princess. You are already losing.
Wah, wah. We shall have this out, fancy pony. We are not done.
Does this mean we can move now?
No. I think we should all wait until she comes back.
Yes, await my return. We will finish this.
Well, thank you so much, every pony. I can't remember a time I felt so wonderfully relaxed.
No, thank you. It's always a pleasure, Princess. Don't wait so long to come and see us next time.
Well, I can only hope I can sneak in another day this soon. It was lovely. Though, I should get back to the castle and see how Luna's doing. She must be exhausted.
Chocolate-covered strawberries and sparkling mineral water before you go?
You know, I bet Luna's doing marvelously. Gibbons is a workhorse. He'll make sure everything gets done.
Nom 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 nom.
This is still one of my favorite scenes. I should get back. Chocolate covered strawberries and sparkling mineral water? Yeah, I'm sure it's good.
Nope.
You are making me look most undignified. Let me go back to my festivities and smite thine blue-haired enemy.
Lepool. You are doing quite the job of looking undignified all on your own, Princess. Come along, the delegates are waiting.
Are we done talking about the doves?
Oh yes, now we need to go over choreography for the toast lighting ceremony.
I suppose talks of dancing and fire will be interesting.
And then the ponies in the blue costumes will come out and do the Navigator. It's the newest dance craze. Also that callback.
I was just going to say that.
Yep.
And then the official...
Zed.
Yeah.
Z.
And then the official mascots of the festival will come out in costume. The costumes were designed by Vera Winnie. And after the drum circle, Shining Armor will come out with the ceremonial torch and light the fire in the...
Yes, fire, shining armor. All good. What's next on the agenda?
Well, Princess, if you wish to be rude and cut the meeting short, we can move on to...
Yes, let's do that.
Oh no, Princess. We arranged for a fully choreographed demonstration of the opening ceremonies for you to review.
Yes, those things. I must go do those things. Wait. I have to do what?
That won't do. She has another dirigible to christen. She must make a 5-minute appearance at the Wonderbolts Derby to present an award, a dress fitting to attend, and she's judging the Cantal Flower Show all before dinner.
Oh my, well, that's a pickle. She must approve the opening ceremonies.
Were you guys waiting for something out of me there?
No, I just forgot I was doing the incidental.
Okay. They're approved.
Oh, princess, you can't approve things without your view. That's just silly.
I know. Let's just do all of those things at once. Much more efficient that way, don't you think?
What?
I love that expression.
Splendid idea. I bet Cresta herself wouldn't have even thought of it.
Bring it on!
You get this huge spread of basically a gigantic circus. That's about
And
the
the
best.
kitchen sink.
Yeah, and the kitchen sink.
And the convertible.
I won't go over too much here, so let's just kind of move on.
Also, they have a red telephone.
Wait, what?
They have a red telephone. I wonder who's it supposed to be connected to?
They
The
also
Royal
have,
Guards.
they also have a car.
Yeah. The convertible built by dogs.
Eh,
Also, don't forget Faust's traveling circus.
Yep, I was actually going to mention that one.
Lions and tigers and bears, you know the rest.
You know the rest.
And Final Scratch with an Applejack rodeo. There is Waldo. A Waldo pony.
Wait. Gotta find him. Well, I see photo finish, so does that count?
No.
No. You're no fun.
Anyway. Yeah, the Waldo is near the giraffe.
Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, with Lunas.
Twitch.
Yes, we dislike Twitch too. Look at all the time we're saving.
Toss.
Fuck, that was my grandponies.
Enough! Silence! Subordinates!
I don't think the subordinates was called for.
I've had enough of this pandemonium. We are in a situation, and we will be dealing with it my way.
But the list. That is handmade saddle Arabian parchment.
Crumble. Stuff it.
Nom nom nom.
Citizens, come forth and let me bestow whatever agreements, endowments, gifts, blah, 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 you are here for. Come along. Form a line.
Scribble.
I like how she's conversing with Apple Bloom here. J. Smith. Never thought about that.
Also, don't forget to read what the award was for.
Huh?
The award was for
Oh.
Defendant Bonneville from Rampant Fireworks for Fleetfoot. It's another callback to the same comic.
I think I get the impression they were proud of that one.
You can't blame them.
No, can't either.
She's handling all that rather well, isn't she?
She is. Wasn't very nice of you to pile her all that on at once, you know.
Nonsense. She was clearly ready for some advanced scheduling.
Celestia, thank goodness you're back.
Gibbet here was just telling me what a wonderful job you did today. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome, but I must admit, I had no idea your daily routine was so difficult. It is most unpleasant. Take back your duties at once. I beg you. Give me back my quiet evenings of prowling for beastly creatures and dreamings of... Who won? Help me out here.
I have no idea.
Is it Montanejo?
See who won.
Is it Montanejo?
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Not sure what the reference is. I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah.
Celestia.
You are fairly capable of ruling any time of the day or the night. And if you ever have the inclination to do my job again, y'all just let me know.
Ah,
I think you may have the day back for a time. I am perfectly happy with the night.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. It's been a long day and I'm off to bed. Good night, every pony.
Hey, come back here! I want to go to bed too!
would you like to get you some tea?
Well, this tea is cold.
Do you think she'll ever come back home? Or back, General? The end.
And thank you to all our readers from the creators of the micro series. Huzzah!
And
They give-
there is a stinker comic.
Hmm?
There is a stinker comic in the end.
Yep, I was just going to get there. They give us a preview for the next comic, the start of the Friends Forever series, starring Applejack and Pinkie Pie. But we'll get there one day. The previous night. You thought I was going to go French, didn't you? That manticore was a delight. What a rousing bout of hooftecuffs.
Yes, Princess. Rousing.
We should enjoy more of such frivolity.
Dep, dep, dep.
Perhaps I should adopt such a fellow creature of the night as a beloved companion. I'm off to hunt the night woods for my perfect animal comrade.
Yoink.
One, that if a figure of action was to be made of me, could be sold as an adoring accompaniment that holds an accessory for my brushable mane.
Her expression.
Yeah, that's the statement itself was just awesome.
My spidey sense is tingling. Oh, that's why.
That was funny.
Yep.
I'm off to find a pet. Ooh, an owl bear. Tempting as a friend you might be, I fear copyright issues. Bats? Too expected. Cricket? Boring. An owl? Been done. A skunk? Too pungent. A mole? Too visually impaired to enjoy my visage.
Help!
Eee! I will name you Tiberius. You shall be my ickle diddle whittle Tibblekins. Come, Tibbles. It is almost the dawn, and our day is nearly done.
Nope.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. And thus ends the comic.
Funny how this little micro within a micro is actually a prequel to the micro we just read.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, I'm guessing it falls under, why is this possum following her all over the place? But, yeah, there you go. Whatever. That's... They want to go that route, that's fine. It's not like Tibbles really did anything substantial in the story anyway.
Except Tibbling.
All right. So as we get started or set up here, what do you guys have to say about this comic? Both audience and you guys.
This is actually my favorite micro of the ones we've actually read. Just hands down.
Yeah, as for me, actually after reading it through several times over and well comparing, actually for me the Rarity micro still wins out, but it's not by a landslide. It's a very good micro, but yeah, it's kind of a matter of personal preference here.
I'll get back to that bit in a second here, but I will say this, that I'm not going to reveal which one of the micros is my favorite until we get to the top 10 bit. When we start talking about which one is, when we start talking about the whole Unicorn Twilight arc as a whole, there I'll reveal it. And I'll say this, yes, it is between the Luna and the Rarity one, but to keep you guys watching, I guess, I'm not going to say anything. Again, not terribly a truckload to say here, but there is one subject I do want to bring up here, and that is Comic Luna versus Show Luna. Is there anything you guys want to say about this?
Well, go ahead if you like.
She seems to be pretty bombastic in both of them, to be honest.
Yeah, but well, compared to her later showings, her more recent ones, she's
Yeah. Yeah, she is a little bit more subdued in the more recent.
yeah. Here she's essentially Luna Eclipse Luna.
Which is
Yeah.
exactly why I wanted to bring this up. It's
This one was based on Luna Eclipse Luna.
right, right.
While canon continued.
And that's this kind of, I don't know how to put this. Even in Alicorn Twilight comics, in her appearances, she still kind of maintains some of that Luna eclipsed Luna
Yeah.
thing to her.
Well, oh, that's more fun for comics.
And I think that's exactly it. Is the comics? I'm guessing the comic writers like that for
Yeah.
just such reasons, like this one.
I think it's also a matter of personal preference. Yes. After all, they are not bound to follow canon exactly.
No, they aren't. So that where we're going with this is, of course, they can get a little bit more colorful and creative.
Yep.
I'll say this: I do kind of wish they would start synchronizing them up a little bit, but it's not that big of a complaint. It's just a minor nitpick. I can understand here because, yeah, the possibility of this being just shortly before or shortly after Luna eclipsed the episode, I can buy that because Twilight has not ascended into Alicornhood. However, as we get further down the line, you will see differences in the you'll see differences amongst the two, and it's kind of a case of, again, timeline synchronizing and comic continuity versus show canon continuity. So it's just a subject I wanted to bring up while we were here.
Yeah, it's a kind of divergence here.
Yeah.
Some points of divergence exists.
It does kind of come to light in regards to, somehow the comic verse actually sort of influencing the show verse and vice versa. This is actually a point I want to make when we get to Triple E this upcoming Tuesday. But
Yeah.
the thing about with Rarity for the last episode we just seen just yesterday, Rarity Investigates, her love of mystery novels actually comes from the comics themselves, and was never actually mentioned in the show proper prior to this, if nothing else. But
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It still makes sense, even if it's not mentioned before.
Yeah.
And well, speaking of Luna again, I actually don't even know which one I prefer, the true canon Luna or the comic canon Luna, because, well, the true canon Luna has that, the show canon Luna has that kind of. She's more dramatic, but also more dramatic in a bad way. She can be overly wangsty. Well, we've seen her in Magic Shape, and this one seems to not really have that trait. She's easier to deal with, kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely a matter of personal preferences in regards.
I'm not even sure which I like more.
I think personally, I like later show Luna better. And the reason being is because of that maturity. It's kind of harkens back to what they established in Luna Eclipse, and then as we go on, to give her a little bit more of a maturation shows progression, and that's where I like it. That being said, I will, like I said here, you can create some great stories with the immature Luna, with like this comic, for instance. So again, it's a matter of preference, but if you have to twist my arm hard enough, I will say show canon Luna wins out for me.
Yeah, I think in the end I would say so too. If it's really comes down that I must make a choice. But I wouldn't actually say that either Luna is mature fully.
I have to agree. I mean, I don't really have a specific favorite. I mean, I love Luna's maturity in the show canon, but the few times where she just totally breaks down and she just lets out that Canterlot royal voice and just silent subordinates, like that point. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep yawning here. I'm feeling kind of like Luna, how she was in the comic, but I feel that Luna is just lovable regardless of where however she's portrayed. She is one of my favorite out of the four right there. She is my second favorite. Of the princesses, and
Who's your first? I don't think I've ever asked you that question specifically. In fact, I don't even
uh,
think I've asked him that. So why don't I ask both of you guys that? Who are your favorite
Well, I'm a
princesses?
little bit biased.
Let's throw Twilight out of the equation here. Let's just of the three that were
Celestia,
okay.
hoops down, and then some.
originally my favorite was Luna straight up, but then after the season 3 premiere, Cadence kind of took that top spot, and that's only because of the fact that Celestia and Luna will banish you to wherever it needs to be banished. Cadence will straight up blow your ass up.
I'm not taking this shit.
Yeah.
Dead.
But yeah, Cadence ranks after Celestia for me because, well, even though I really like Cadence, I just like Celestia more.
That's fine. Again, I just thought I'd ask because I don't think I've ever asked you guys.
It's a pertinent question.
Yeah, it is. In this fandom, it is. Wars have been started over it, for crying out loud. Forum wars.
For now.
But yeah, I love all the princesses. I do have a partial thing to Celestia, and to be perfectly honest, a part of my partial thing to Celestia isn't so much because that she is one of my favorites or anything like that. I mean, in a way, she is kind of one of them. But the thing that I'm partial to her is, and this is kind of a bit of a funny thing. You know how I mentioned before that I do like writings and role playing as well with friends.
Mm-hmm.
With the funny thing is, I'm helping a friend of mine. I believe you remember Crazy Rabbit Pony on our chat room a few times. She actually she and I are working on a couple of projects of fanfics, and we're kind of sort of role playing this out. And funny thing is, guess who gets to play Princess Celestia? I'm writing. Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, to answer your question, you probably already know that I'm writing on Celestia's behalf, so I'm kind of getting into her mindset and trying to figure out, okay, well, what would Celestia do in this situation? What would she say?
Why do I hear "banished to the moon for 1,000 years" is a very common statement you make?
Actually, that isn't one that we do. I'm not really doing this more for comedic purposes. I'm actually trying to play this fairly seriously.
I know. I just couldn't help it.
Ow, I pinched myself somehow. I don't know how I did that. Not only that, but I pinched my leg in the damn drawer. Ow.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just freaking drawer just has a tendency of springing open on its own. And I don't know why. Yeah.
I guess that's about all I really have to say before we get to the whole comic wrap up. So, what do you guys have to? Is there anything specifically you guys want to bring up before we get to that point?
Nothing that really springs to me.
Well, it's only that to finally settle the difference, kind of the eternal argument between Rarity and Ludimicrous.
So you want to get there, eh?
Yep.
Before we
started with it.
Well, before we get there, why don't we start with why don't we actually just kind of wrap this comic up then? So I know I'll give the audience a chance to say their bit on that. So before I even introduce the next and last topic concerning specifically this comic, let's just give the audience a second. In the meantime, I'm going to find Waldo. Yeah, I found him.
A lot of even better references, like the shorts with Blame My Sister on the right. Vinyl is playing on a turntable labeled Club Crazy Horse, which is a bit of a mature reference.
Crazy Horse.
fruit truck has "Pardon my bucking" written on the rear window.
If this car is a bucking, don't come a knocking.
And of course, the observer pole is standing on the observatory.
Oh, I see Katie Cook's OC has made an appearance at the fortune table.
Yeah, they are all there. They're all in that middle section.
Yep. Then Price and his wife. Look, dear, can I go over there? No. That's all I can hear out of it is just
Yep.
like a. She's thinking, why did I marry this child? All right, I think kind of everyone has said what they. I gave them a minute or so. So let's go to the comic overall. What do you guys have to say about this comic specifically, as kind of as a whole?
Yeah, it's like G says, it's excellent in terms of humor. It's a purely humor comic in a good way. It plays off its characters very well, I would say.
And it's nice to see Luna in a situation in regards to like, okay, well, hey, this is my sister's job. It can't be that hard to do my sister's job.
Basically, it's nice to see Luna in a non-dramatic situation in general.
I could generalize this even further. This is a classic role reversal story. Pretty much to a T. And I mean that in a good way, actually. Role reversals work a lot just like this comic. You take one or two characters and, well, as its name implies, reverse the role. So in this case, Luna is going from patrol and creature wrestling to bureaucrats and silly appearances. I say silly from her perspective.
About the only thing that really would have made this better, in my opinion, is if we had actually gotten the flip side perspective on Celestia on the night shift. And thinking that, oh, hey, this is night shift. How bad could this be? And then she's like attacked by an owlbear, and she's just running like the fuck away from it, screaming, and just channeling Jackie Chan adventures. Bad day, bad day, bad day, bad day.
Yeah, bad day, bad day, bad day, bad day, bad day. Good reference there.
So.
Yeah, I could see where, but I think that the big issue with that would, of course, been, so whose micro is this?
Yeah, that's true.
But you make a good point, and that's kind of.
It would have been more friends for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that would have been. I'm gonna have to write in on that one. See if I can get something out of it. Of course, I wouldn't be shocked if Celestia has done something like that when Luna was banished. But whatever. Point I'm getting at here is that, yes, this is a role reversal story, and it plays that whole trope up to a T, and that's just fine with me. The fun of role reversal stories are, just as I said, putting some character who does something different in the role of someone else. And the fun of it from a storytelling standpoint is, of course, watching the character suffer. To whatever degree you want to call that. But the point I'm getting at is it's exactly like what Luna is. She's used to, again, she's used to putting her life on the line. So imagine putting her in extraordinarily boring scenarios. To her, that is torment. It's kind of funny to watch it. Also, much like with some other role reversal stories, some of the fun that comes from it is, of course, watching how do I want to put this? Watching the hero get knocked down to the same level that we are. What I mean by this is, your job's easy. I could do that. Yeah. Look what just happens. One thing you mentioned about Celestia, Ben, and one thing that I will actually add to this comic that I think was a really fun treat was Celestia. And it's because it's kind of like what I said when we got to that bit at lunch. It's like, would you be really watching your replacement from the shadows, or would you take the day off? I thought so.
Yep.
That's the whole fun of her. It's just, you know what? I'm going to the spa. Forget this day. I'm just relaxing.
Well, and to be perfectly honest, that's actually half the reason why I did the sort of duality with the voices that I did. I sort of mentally have like to where Celestia specifically does
The whole deep voice here is kind of a something that she puts on for the show.
but then her other voice is just her downtime, voice. So I'm like, I'm not being a princess. I don't have to, put on the queenly mask or anything again. So that was what I was trying to go for. If anyone was wondering why the hell my voice was all over the place when I was trying to do Celestia the day.
I was a little bit curious, but that makes so much sense.
So
Also, I'm not surprised that Celestia is so organized, or at least has Kibitz there to be her organizer. Apollonians versus the Dionysians, Tim?
Maybe.
Well, I mean, if she is the raiser of the sun and kind of the embodiment of it, it kind of works hand in hand, if you ask me.
Yep.
All right. I think that's about it. So, do you want me to do the top 10 or the rank the series first, or do you want to talk about the Unicorn Twilight comics as a whole first? Audience and you two?
I really don't care either way. Am I personally honest with you?
Yep. I don't really even split them that way, but since you've started it, I'm kind of going along with it.
It doesn't matter. I'm just curious if anyone is what everyone wants. Does everyone want me to reveal which one I think is the number one micro, or do we want to get onto the unicorn part and save that part for the end? It's just a matter of that.
I am legitimately curious as to what you think is the best one, to be honest. But that's just me.
Then I am doing my job.
Keeping us guessing.
Give the audience a few more seconds.
I haven't seen anyone talking.
Give them a second. And the comic just kind of died. Whoop. No, it didn't. Yeah, I'll bring it back up here shortly. It's nice to have it on hand. Hiano?
Heh.
Someone's playing music.
Oh, that would probably be me. I didn't realize that the actual sound. I actually have it. Had the whatchamacallit volume turned down. I didn't realize that even though I'm wearing headphones, it would actually leak out from my headphones and into the actual microphone. That's weird. Didn't realize it was that loud.
Might be a sound setting or something, but
Maybe.
J.E. Smith is saying the Twi arc overall. Yeah, actually, given the preference, that's where I want to start too.
All right, we'll go for it then.
So let's start talking about the whole of the comics that we have talked about for the past several weeks now. What do we have to say about all of them, taking everything into account?
Well, it's kind of hard for me to just group them together that much because they're all over the place.
For what it's worth, though, I'll say this: that I think this is, obviously the quality is going to be all over the place. Whether it be we say they're
Stories
terrible,
too.
yeah, obviously the stories too. Whether they say they rank from terrible all the way up to they're magnificent, but that, of course, to me, kind of goes without saying. However, for what it's worth, I think the Twilight. This is how do I put this? Especially the main stories. I think this is kind of what the whole MLP comics needed to get started. These obviously
Yeah.
could have been these could have been just throwaway comics. And I'm not meaning like G3 or any Generation 3 recycled stuff. I was meaning they could have honest to goodness been just cheap. If you how do I want this could have been really these stories could have been cheap. The whole production thing could have been cheap. Everything about this just could have been cheap throwaways that we
So
could have
basically,
been.
like the German comics, out, across the pond.
I think I know which ones you're referring to, and yeah,
Yep.
exactly that. But
And well, basically it's the same stories with Pony itself,
yeah, it's.
as with Generation 4 itself.
I think I know. Like I said, I know the ones. I think I know the ones you're referring to, Ben. But yeah, that's kind of my point. Is all of these could have been really crappy, really cheap, and I say that as in, especially given how actually cheap they are. You can buy a new one for like $4 here. Yeah, call me a cheapskate. I don't care. Where was I? These stories, especially the good ones in particular, we could have been filing these under and saying things like, well, this story's weak. This story is not fun to read. I'm spending all this money to read you these comics, and they're terrible. That's how a lot of these stories could have ended. But instead, especially the good ones, I think they're worth their money. Some of them in particular, as we've said, have been good enough to be their own TV show. And while I said that to the Spike Micro, and I distinctly made that that's not exactly the highest of compliments, some of these, like this one, could have been their own show episode. And if you ask me, that's exactly what they should be. These should be good enough to be show episodes. Obviously,
Yeah,
of course.
I think that's all comics should be kind of measured this way.
Mhm.
All comics should be made to hold up to the episodes.
And that's where I think, overall in particular, if that makes any sense, that the comics have become, well, their own success in their own right. It's true that most people probably don't buy the comics, and therefore they probably aren't going to know too much about what you're talking about should you reference them, unless it's a really famous scene like, well, I hate to say it again, but the Luna Micro, or the Return of Queen Chrysalis would be another one that most people seem to read. But the further you go along, it becomes a little bit blurrier. That being said, I can definitely throw recommendations to the common man, I guess I'll say. To the commoner. I don't know if I should say that given that.
peasantry.
Yeah, since we were just going over
I'm sorry.
that. To the commoner who's asking, the curious onlooker, that's probably the better one, who's asking me, what ones would you recommend? I could definitely tell him that, and I would say, this is so worth your money. That's saying
Yep.
something. There are plenty of comics out there, established comics, who have their own crappy stories. And I don't mean that as in generally. I mean, no, specifically. And yet, I don't read many comics, but I know people who do read comics who would say, read these. Seriously, go read them. Have fun. It certainly did. How do I want to put this? Kind of losing my train of thought on where I was going with this. Maybe I'll think about it later. But anyway, anything else you guys want to add to what I've been saying here?
Pretty much nothing really that I can think of that hasn't already been said. But yeah, even though some of these comics were, a little bit sort of poor in quality, in some of them, not all of them. There
Right.
there were a few that really took the cake. But like you said, like right when we first did the Twilight micro comic, I mean this kind of suffers from the whole first installment syndrome, where some of the micro series was pretty much like the first actual comic series that we've had, I think, before the um, even though that some of them were alongside some of the like the more actual IDW um, arcs, like the one where we had the Return of Queen Chrysalis, where they had the 4 episode arc on that, and then the Nightmare Rarity arc. Um, the micro comics are they're not really meant as regards to they're just a collection of one shots essentially, and kind of sort of glimpses into the lives glimpses into the lives of the characters. And um with this being like the first of its kind, I mean it's kind of like um how can I say this? It's good for a first portray, but at the same time, it's like it does leave someone to be a bit desired, but it's not bad for what it is.
Bear in mind, the micro comics were basically designed as appetizers, while the main series is the meat and potatoes, and that's the first comics here established that, and I think they want to go with that for that very reason. It gives the main comics a little bit more of a buffer time for the
Essentially
comic
filler.
staff. Yep. Yeah, most of the micros are pretty much filler.
It's less of a filler, more of a kind of sideshow.
Maybe that's a better way of
or
looking at it.
warm-up act, maybe, in a way, but more of a sideshow so that it doesn't. So that there is not that big of a pause, that there is something to consume in the meanwhile.
To me, it works.
Not truly filler, because usually filler is kind of an end in itself.
Good point. But yeah, that's the reason why they do. That's why I'm guessing the reason they do that. We could certainly just give main comic series and just wait for those for the 2 months that they're released, the every other month that they're released. But I kind of like this format just for that very reason. If you're looking for a comic fix, then here you go. You get one every month instead.
Wouldn't even split them this rigidly.
But yeah,
I wouldn't even split them between. I wouldn't kind of say that the main arc is called the main arc. It has priority. No, it doesn't. The thing is that they are different formats. What we call the main FIM comic arc are just comics that come in sequential issues and are bound by an overarching story. And they're composed of arcs.
They're certainly a lot longer in content, though.
That's the point. They are the big ones. They are the two-handed comics, so to speak. And then we have the single issue ones, which are these Micro, Friends Forever, so on. They are the single issue ones. They are not bound together by the story, by an overarching story. They can reference each other, or the main comics, but they aren't built in a story that the next issue continues. Mm-hmm. That's the main difference. So I wouldn't. The point could be made that this could be prioritized instead, but I don't prioritize either, because there are kind of different approaches to how comics can go.
Ship in a bottle comics.
Yeah, and basically what we call the main arc are two-parter episodes, or three-parter episodes. Well,
Yep, I know what you mean.
And these are normal ones.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I see your point. All right, I think for what it's worth, that's about all I really have to say about the Unicorn Twilight arc as a whole. So, all right, let's get to the big reveal, shall we? Hopefully Ben will be back quickly. I'll
Good time. Well, we could wait for Ben.
All right.
Then make it.
Hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's just quick. I'm like a phone call or to the can or something. Yeah, we're running really way over time.
Like I said, I don't even really separate the comics between Unicorn and Alicorn Time, because they don't exactly. There is nothing really much to. Well, it affects nothing. like in the show, kind of.
No, you're right. I
It
think it's
affects it affects something, but it doesn't. It isn't groundbreaking, turning the world upside down kind of stuff. Just it's not much bigger than Rarity getting her boutique in Cartelot.
try saying that to all the people who sent Andy Price angry letters. Before we go there, though, no, I really don't want to. I think it's just a difference in. I think it's honest to God, just one of those again, a differences in the way you and I see things, Tim.
Maybe. Because well, Twilight stayed Twilight, and her role kind of stayed the same.
Well, I'm not even
Mostly.
meaning. I'm not meaning I am not meaning between Unicorn and Alicorn Twilight. I'm meaning splitting the main series versus the micro series up.
Yeah, the mine was micro. Yeah, it's a different matchup completely. It's not related to the Unicorn or Alicorn thing at all.
I did promise people that, given the way the show has been changed, BwB, I might, honest to God, have to just make another episode discussing Magical Mystery Cure, just so that we can do so how have
Get
things
it out
been?
of the way at least.
Yeah, I promised them that back at episode 80, so I might, honest to God, have to consider doing an episode just about that episode, just so that we can talk about
we
Alicorn
can do
Twilight
that.
and post things, just because how long is that going to be until we get there? At this
Long
point,
time.
yeah, it could be a long time, and it's like, well, why don't we just jump to it or something? But we'll get there shortly. All right, I'll give Ben another couple minutes here. Because it's been over almost 2 seasons since we last discussed that. To put it in perspective here.
Yep.
How time flies.
Well, ponies make the time pass very quickly.
Yeah, they surprisingly do. Seriously, it's
Somehow, yeah.
blah, 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 blah. In the off season, it always seems like it's like, oh, it's the off season. When's the next pony? When are ponies coming back? A year? Okay. Waiting.
All right, I'm
waiting,
back.
Waiting. Hang on. No, we're not waiting on you, Ben. I'm making a point here.
I didn't think you was.
I'll wait for Tim to get back.
There we go.
Okay, as I was saying, it's for me when it comes to the off season and the on season, Tim. It's like, okay, ponies are on. Okay, here's my routine now. Okay, we're off season. When's ponies coming back? Long time. Okay, well I'll just wait then. Waiting. Oh, it's back on next week. Okay, perfect. We're good. What? So
Yep.
And then they ask, so what happened? What'd you do in between the seasons?
There was an in between.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's either there was an in between. I don't even remember it. I was just waiting here. Okay, we were waiting for you so that I can reveal the arcs and all that junk where I rank them. So, without further ado, let's start
It's
with the.
time for Kenny Blankenship's most painful eliminations of the day. I'm sorry.
It's time for Kenny Blankenship's most painful eliminations of the day. Starting off with the main series, there are only 4 arcs in the Unicorn Twilight arc for the main series, so I'll just go ahead and rank them. As usual, you guys like me starting with the lowest and going to the highest. So, number 4, The Return of Queen Chrysalis. Yeah, this one was probably one of those cases of you saw it coming a mile away. I already gave you my reasonings that it suffered from first installment syndrome. That being said,
Yeah.
I still it's pretty much the biggest reason why it's at number 4.
Essentially.
Because number 3, the Nightmarity arc. Yeah, there's really no official title to this one, so everyone just kind of calls it the Nightmare Rarity or the Nightmarity arc. Anyway, I said that back there that this one had a lot. The characters were far better characterized, and the story itself was pretty darn entertaining. So that's why this
because
one.
the comic got his feet
Mhm,
on the ground. Or
exactly.
hers.
So again, probably not much of a big surprise here as to why this one beats out the Return of Queen Chrysalis. Number 2, Zen and the Art of Gazebo Repair, the Big Mac arc. Again, if you heard me, if you heard me say the ending, you probably could have seen a lot of these coming. But this one, the Big Mac arc, was a really good comic. I love this one a lot. It's an extraordinarily solid story, and I told you it's pretty much the getting a glass of water while the world explodes kind of story. So it was a great. I love those stories, and this one is no exception to that rule, nor my personal preferences. And as you can probably guess, number 1, Nay Anything, the Shining Armor and Princess Cadence comic. While Matt made a good point about it suffering from a lot of cliches, for me, I like those cliches.
It's not suffering from them. It just has them.
And yeah, maybe I think that's more of his personal preference, and that's perfectly fine. But for me,
It's just that people just hate the cliches from just seeing them.
mm-hmm, but
Yeah,
without diving into any more, I'm not trying to target you, Matt. I'm really not. I'm just saying that you were the one who made that one pretty prominent. That's all. That's all I am saying. I swear.
Won't listen to this anyway.
For me, I love those cliches. I gave my reasons about why I do, how I enjoy seeing the hero become a hero, rising to the occasion and fulfilling his, whatever it is, fulfilling his wish, fulfilling his duty, or fulfilling his desire, in this case, to win over Princess Cadence's heart. And I also like the way it does characterize them. I know I said that that's another issue of comic canon versus show canon, but I like to think there's a little bit more
to
to
have
it.
characterization of them by that point.
Exactly.
That's all.
One thing I want to add that I didn't get the chance to back then, something that I like about these two and why I think they actually work together, Shining Armor and Princess Cadence, is Shining Armor is a giant dork. Well, nerd.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
And if the comic was anything that revealed anything about Princess Cadence, I get the distinct impression that she loves him because she can be herself, natural, around him. Think about it. Look at what she...
At least one reason is this.
Yeah, obviously. But think about what she said when they were analyzing, when we got to the second comic of the story, and what was it that Cadence said? She says, I have an abacus just to help me calculate pie charts. Shame. Go with a bar chart. They're much better. I have an abacus to help me just in case I need to make a pie chart. I have, 30 some odd colors of paper to help me organize and wide rulers for fulls.
Yeah.
Who says that? Who, honest to God, says that?
Cadence.
I was going to generalize to someone who's hyper organized and nerdy, but yeah, that works too. But that's my point. So,
Yep.
Go ahead.
Nothing. No.
Kind of, yeah. Actually, this is the main reason why I like this particular twist. It's not really a twist, but a twist at the same time, because up until this comic, generally, nothing was known about either Shining Armor or Cadence, save for what we've seen in the episodes, and that's not much. And kind of Shining Armor was being pigeonholed into basically he was being made Buck Withers from the comics, and then it turns it entirely on his head, which I loved.
One other thing that I can kind of cite as evidence of this is Cadence is coming to visit Twilight to visit this is from Three's company, obviously future scoping, but she's coming to visit Twilight and they're going to the Star Swirl the Bearded convention.
Yeah.
Again, who does that? You could argue Cadence is just going there to spend time with Twilight and they're doing something other than just chatting. They actually have something scheduled. Fair point, but I'm going to chalk this one up a little bit further as part of... this would be something Cadence would like to do. But moving on, let's get to the micro series. Number 10, the Rainbow Dash one. Yeah,
Surprising no one.
surprising no one. Moving on. Number 9, the Applejack Micro. This one might be a bit shocking, but I said that it plays it safe and pretty much is a pretty safe story. So, yeah, there you go. Number 8, Fluttershy. My big issue with this one is kind of in the same reason as the AJ comic. It doesn't really do much, and I said it ended fairly quick. I was able to read it. Of all the micros, this one I can probably blaze through the fastest.
Yeah,
And
somehow I got that feeling too.
it's not, you say, but the speed of it shouldn't matter. No, it shouldn't,
Yes.
but
It shouldn't, but it does.
it does in this case because how do I want to put this?
Basically, let's say that if a micro is well made, the speed shouldn't matter.
Right, exactly. However, that's
If
kind
it
of
does,
it
then
is
there's something wrong.
is the content of it. It's not very
Exactly.
big nor substantial, and that's exactly wherein my point about it being so quick lays.
It's kind of the point about micros in general. That some of them feel very long, like two-parters, while some of them feel extremely short. But at the same time, the page count is usually the same.
Yeah,
Whatever it is too.
exactly. I mean, the Luna one. Look how long it took us to get through that one. That's a longer
Yeah.
one, but yet
It's the
that's
longest we did, probably.
but yet I'm going to rank this one up pretty high. I already said I rank it as either my 1 or 2.
Let's get
But-
back to it.
But anyway, yeah. Before we go off on something, number 7, the Celestia Micro. This one might be a bit shocking being as low as it is, but again, you can kind of allow me to explain. It's kind of as I said when it comes to the partially with the Fluttershy and that it's a fairly quick one, but that one wasn't that big of an issue with this one. However, I said that the focus was the problem, and that was kind of my big reason. I know, Tim, you're going to argue that it has an abrupt ending. I could certainly cite that, too, as a problem, to put it as low as it is.
It's kind of as abrupt as the Dreamfall Longest Journey. If you know what I'm talking about, it's probably the worst abrupt ending in the gaming history.
Can you say that again? I didn't quite catch that.
Basically, just referencing an ending from probably the most abrupt ending in the history of gaming.
Which game?
It's Dreamfall: The Longest Journey.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
basically a massive cliffhanger, and well, nothing more.
You don't leave them on a cliffhanger.
No.
You just don't do
On the
that.
mother of all cliffhangers.
It's one thing to leave your audience wanting more and maybe leave some open questions for them to interpret. That's where the hook of giving them something.
Yeah.
That's where you have them wanting more. But if there's a main point to the story that you don't wrap up,
It
Then
didn't
either
wrap up
you-
any main points and opened up more.
yep, then you'd either better continue it, have a sequel, or you screwed up royally.
Yeah, this is the reason I didn't fully like the Celestia Micro myself as well. That it left those several salient points completely unanswered, and they went up and more.
Number 6, the Spike Micro. Yeah, this one I was a little surprised. I wasn't terribly surprised where it ended up, but I was a little surprised that I did put it kind of where it was. Originally, I kind of put it up a little bit higher, but after doing some thought on it, I thought, it better go down a little bit more. Again, the story I said could be put as a television show, and I said that wasn't as good a compliment as the Rarity one, but overall, this one's probably the most middle of the road of the micros. Not really doing much, but at least the story is entertaining enough, so I can definitely give it brownie points over the others that I've mentioned thus far for just that very
Brownie
reason.
points.
Number 5, the Twilight Micro. I mentioned the terrible artwork, so I'm not really going to mention it again. Too late. However, where this one wins out over the Spike one is, you guessed it, the story. I like this story. This type of it where they have the young, I already mentioned it's like the child and the old has-been. So to see this kind of story played out the way it was, well, to a T, nice. Number 4, the CMC Micro. While the artwork certainly beats... I certainly hate to... How do I want to put this? When it comes to some visual medium like comics, yes, sometimes I will take art into consideration for whatever reason as maybe like a definitive cutoff point. In this case, that's exactly what it was. While the stories between the CMC and the Twilight one are, while different, I could probably peg them as probably in about the same quality. Where the CMC wins out is in the art. It looks so much better. It's a much more enjoyable art. It's clean. That's exactly what I expect. So that helps it. The story itself, though, is kind of where I can go a little bit further with it. I said that I enjoy the CMC comic, the CMC Micro, because it allows the CMC to basically be what they are.
The CMC.
Kids. Yeah, and the CMC.
CMC.
So that's where I really liked it, was while it was a bit of a shorter one, the content to it was wonderful. And seeing them, like I said, being just kids was
Not
nice.
squids.
Yeah, not squids. Number 3. Probably saw this one coming, the Pinkie Pie Micro. This was another one of those instances of a longer micro comic where there was a lot of substance to go with it. I love this comic. Ted Anderson did a great job nailing down Pinkie Pie's character. He did a great job telling it. The artwork, I don't know who did the artwork on that one. Don't bother looking up. It's not important. The artwork looks nice. Overall, this is a great micro because that's exactly what a micro should be. I said that they're appetizers. Well, some of you like mozzarella sticks. I like getting chicken strips.
I prefer potato skins myself.
Oh, those are good too. But the point I'm getting at here is this is another one of those cases of it could be its own episode. Its own show episode. I love this story. Now, here comes the big one, folks. I'm going to reveal both of them at the same time. Luna or Rarity? Which one do I like better? Number 2 and number 1. In order from 2 and 1?
Plot twist is the time.
No, it's not. Luna is number 2. Rarity is number 1. Where do these lay, and why are they there? Oh boy, I have spent my fair share of nights debating this one, folks. This one falls under Keep Calm and Flutter On and Magic Duel grade split. Unlike those 2 episodes, though, I can distinctly point out where and why I like the Rarity better than the Luna. Believe it or not, the stories of these 2 are roughly the same. One of our characters being put in an unfamiliar situation. Now, I said the Luna one was a role reversal. Rarities was more, she just got stuck in a bad situation.
It's
and
a
made the
fish out
most
of
it.
water kind of thing.
Yeah, both of them are kind of fish out of water type stories.
Yeah, but for different reasons, but yes.
So where does the Rarity one win out? I personally like the Rarity one a little bit better, and that's a really small amount. I will stress that right here. I will stress that I like the Rarity one a little bit more because of Rarity herself. And it's not as her like a character, it's how she handled the situation.
Yeah.
She handled that situation wonderfully. She handled it with not just grace, but she came out on top because she said, this is who I am. I can make the best of this. Watch me make the best of this.
And she did.
And she
Basically,
did it.
almost like last week's episode.
Exactly.
In the best way possible.
With Luna, however, it's kind of the exact opposite. A very immature child trying to take on the role of an adult. That's exactly what her story is.
Yep, and it has no resolution essentially.
Well, yeah, that might be true. She does succeed, but only by doing it her way, which that's fine. Obviously, I think that's part of the Luna Micro was to say that I can't do it your
her way
way.
wasn't really much different from.
She was a little true, but she took it on more as a case of whims and
Yeah.
She solved her problems, well, the others, by whims, as she said, form a line, and
Yeah.
I'll take care of it. What do you need? Welcome to McLuna's. How can I help you?
Welcome to Good Luna, home of Good Luna. Can I take your order?
So to me, it does boil down to pick a different flavor, but yes, that's where the rarity wins out for me. And I'll stress again, like always, these listings are not etched in stone. These are just, I list them for you because I like to think that you guys, at least one person in the audience, likes it when I do this. So,
I had to finish the reading with something.
True, and I enjoy doing it myself. It kind of allows me to categorize. Oftentimes, when it comes to my rankings, like in the episodes, I don't really care too much about the difference between number 15 and number 14 because it's probably extraordinarily small. And I'm guessing most of you are kind of like that as well. You don't really care about like number 5 and number 6, the Twilight. I put Spike and Twilight as my middle grounds. You guys probably don't care too much about that. Or if you do have a 5 or 6, again, it's probably like me where the difference is so small. However, that being said, I always believe that everyone can and does have that they can easily spot the opposite poles, the best and the worst. So kind of putting them where I think they are can maybe give you guys a good reference about what I think is good and what I don't think is good. But with that, why don't we wrap this up, shall we?
Yeah,
Just a little something funny I found.
And to
Is it? Can I show it?
If you want, yeah. It's really nothing to do with anything of what we're discussing. It's just, you were talking about rarity, and I just found this, and I just can't help but post this because it's funny.
not enough
All I can imagine is just
rarity.
my past self has returned. I must destroy it. But wouldn't that be destroying you? Shut up. One more time.
It's me from the future. I should tell her she's ugly.
But yeah, to put in our own 25 pence, I would say that's my main, so to speak, story comic arcs kind of correspond to yours here for mostly the same reasons. And I don't want to drag it out by listing every single micro comic because I don't even care to list them that precisely. But again, Rarity 1 comes on top for me. Comes out on top, and Luna 1 is behind it probably.
I'd have to say, yeah. The Luna one's my favorite only because of the fact that I just happen to just find Luna far more adorable in, just having her dealings. I mean, being run roughshod over the daytime, and the reason why it's not part of the reason why I love so much the Luna one is my favorite isn't so much because of the dealings of the characters, but because of the fact that it speaks to me on a somewhat personal level. Because, as you know, I do work night shift, and the thing is that coming from a night shift, having to deal with a lot of the stuff during the day, especially like on the weekdays when like most of these places don't open until like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I have stuff that needs to be done, you know, that means that, I mean, I get off at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I get off at 7 o'clock, and depending on my post, I get off like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. That means I have like 3 hours to burn before I have to get this stuff done. And if I go home, I mean, I can't go to sleep right away. I have to wind down a little bit.
Mhm.
But by the time that I actually go to bed to sleep for whatever long that I need to be, I'm maybe taking probably an hour nap. And when I get up and I'm only having like an hour's worth of sleep, I can be really cranky sometimes. And it's just, the thing is that, having to try to do stuff going off of like very little sleep, it's like I can totally understand where Luna's coming from, being very irritable and upset with having to do stuff, like, oh hey, I'm waiting for something to get done. I'm like, hey, this probably should have taken at least 20 minutes, and I'm like looking up at the clock and I'm like, only 5 have passed.
Isn't it
And
always?
yeah. So I totally understand where Luna's coming from on, hey, let's go ahead and get this stuff done. But at the same time, I mean, I'm so very sleepy. I just want to go back to bed and get some sleep. And it's one of the few things I hate working night shift, is because, like I said, a lot of these places that, open up for business day, I get off, early in the morning, but then I still have to wait until these places open, because they don't open until like later on in like practically mid morning.
Mhm.
And I'm like, just seriously, come off of it. But that's just me.
All right. Is that all?
That's about all I can say.
One last thing. Sorry, I hate to say this, but one last thing I'll certainly add is it's not hard to see why the Luna and the Rarity, for whatever reason whatsoever, good or bad, however you want to put it, it's not hard to see why those two are usually the big fan favorites. You ask them what their favorite micro is, they're going to tell you probably one of those two. All right. Is that all?
That's all, folks. I'm sorry.
Tim?
Nah, I don't really have much to say.
All right. And now we come to the one point that we've been saving for. We've been saving for the whole show, I suppose. There was one announcement that we were saving for this. As you know, BwB has been going on for quite a long time now, pretty much uninterrupted. And yes, if you can picture where I'm going to go with this, you're exactly right. BwB is, for what it's worth, switching schedules around. Trying to keep this thing going on a per weekly basis has become really taxing. And more importantly still, I've got a lot of things in life myself, and both these guys as well.
Real life can be a bitch, really.
Exactly. It's gotten to the point where we had to stop and talk and basically consider BwB's future. To the point that what we are going to be doing is, instead of going on a weekly regular schedule, we're going to be going more of an at-whim schedule. What this means is, not every week are we going to be doing this. In fact, there could be long stretches of time where we go without doing this. In fact, I don't even see us doing one until at least October. And that's even considering that I get mercy from homework.
This is not to say that the show's going to be ending by far. We're not saying that at all. We're just, we're just kind of going on I suppose you could say not really a mini hiatus of sorts. We're just, because we've already been on hiatus. It's just that the thing is like what Elliot says, we're still going to be doing the show. We're just not going to be doing it as often as we would like to.
Maybe like an irregular hiatus would be a better
I
phrase.
suppose, yes.
But the point is that Yes, we still plan on bringing up topics to discuss. When I said the talking about what was it I was going to say? Talking about Alicorn Twilight and Magical Mystery Cure, the episode. Yeah, we could definitely be doing that. Yes, we still are planning on doing comic readings. Don't know when we'll get to them. Don't really know even. Um,
And of course, we're always up for interviews. So.
Yes. That was the other thing I was going to make. Thank you. Yes, we'll still do some interviews here and there. In fact, I've got a couple of them. I have a couple in mind right now. I don't know when I'll get around to them, but we're playing things by ear. The best thing you can do is obviously stay tuned to either my DeviantArt page and or the Cinema Equestria newsletter, and obviously our calendar. We'll keep posts on things there where and when we do decide to broadcast again. Don't know, like I said, I don't know when we're going to get to the next one, but at this point, I can't really be thinking about that right now. I've got my own things I need to get in order.
Yeah, to add a little bit to it, it's, to be honest, on my part at least from our conversations with EJ here, the big part of this is essentially that we can't really discuss episodes after showing them live anymore, because it kind of held the show together before. Well, we could do it with that gone. The other aspects of the show are perhaps even better if they are not regularized like they used to be.
And furthermore,
it adds more flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, as regards to episode discussions, one of our other moderators, Rain Shadow, has taken it basically upon himself to do what we do, our equine episode examinations, our personal E3. And we've been doing like Tim says, he's been doing a very good job. We've been doing about a 2-hour discussion for pretty much these episodes as they are. And what the plan is we're basically going to be moving our episodes. We're going to be leaving the episode discussions essentially up to that show from this point on in regards to the actual so from like season 3 on and all that. We're just going to go ahead and leave it up to Rain and his crew effectively.
Basically, it's delegation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Like I said with the Magical Mystery Cure stuff, I still may bring up specific episodes to talk about for one reason or another, but yeah, I'm mostly going to be we're going to be mostly leaving a lot of that to equine episode examination, but there might still be something that either they missed or something that I just want to talk about, like Alicorn Twilight, for instance, that they probably won't discuss on there, but we could certainly talk about here on BwB. But that being said,
yeah, we won't be tied down to one episode.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And with that, I hate to leave you guys on a sour note like that if you really enjoy doing this with us each week, but it's just the reality of it, and we have to
it's the nature of the beast, as they say.
Yeah, that's perhaps the better term to be had here. So with that, farewell.
Take care, everyone.
Yep, see you later.